Chapter 23. Ling Xiao stood on the peak of a mountain. His robes were whiter than snow, and his black hair fluttered in the wind. His eyes were bright and radiant, and he had an aura of looking down on the world. The heaven-devouring spirit seed formed from the chaos golden lotus fire and mysterious origin heavy water was only a half-finished product, but it was already able to display the terrifying power of the heaven-devouring secret technique. Ling Xiao's body was shrouded in clouds and spiritual light. As he breathed in and out, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth surged towards him. After forming the heaven-devouring spirit seed, Ling Xiao had been cultivating at every moment. Moreover, it had various uses in battle. It could be said that Ling Xiao, who had condensed the heaven-devouring spirit seed, and Ling Xiao, who had yet to condense the heaven-devouring spirit seed, had the battle prowess of the heavens and the battle prowess of the earth. Boom! The energy in Ling Xiao's body surged like a raging river. All the meridians in his body were opened, and his aura was as pure as a baby's. Moreover, everything in the world around him seemed to have a trace of vitality. This was the gift of creation, and it made Ling Xiao feel the vastness of heaven and earth. An incomparably pure aura surged, and Ling Xiao's glabella shone brightly. An incomparably pure mental strength spread out. I actually activated my mental strength at this time. Ling Xiao's heart was filled with joy. If one followed the prescribed path of martial cultivation, they would only be able to awaken their mental strength when they reached the Grandmaster realm. It would then be able to affect the power of heaven and earth. However, there were also some people with extraordinary talent who had awakened their mental energy early on. These people were regarded as treasures by countless alchemists, artifact refiners, and array refiners, who fought over them and took them in as disciples. To become an alchemist, blacksmiths, or array master, knowledge was secondary. The most important thing was mental strength. Many alchemists and blacksmiths were already very proficient in the art of refining pills, but because their mental strength was insufficient, they were unable to advance to a higher level. I didn't expect that breaking through to the great circle of the channel opening realm would have such benefits. My mental strength should have reached the level of a high-grade alchemist. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He was very satisfied with this result. Originally, he thought that he would only be able to awaken his mental strength after reaching the true Qi realm. At most, he would only be able to reach the level of a low-grade or middle-grade alchemist. He didn't expect that he would directly awaken the mental strength of a high-grade alchemist. A high-grade alchemist could already refine high-grade spirit pills. Even the great elder of the longevity sect was only a high-grade alchemist. In the space between Ling Xiao's eyebrows, mental energy was dense and drifting like mist. However, at this moment, a golden light suddenly flashed, and an incomparably simple scroll abruptly appeared between Ling Xiao's eyebrows. What's this? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as a look of shock appeared in his eyes. No. This is the scripture scarlet in the war god's tomb. How did it run scripture? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. This ancient book looked a little familiar, and he quickly recalled where he had seen it. 10,000 years ago, Ling Xiao and Supreme True Dragon explored the Scarlet Dragon War God's land of inheritance together, and after many difficulties and dangers, they finally found the Scarlet Dragon War God's godhead, which was placed in this ancient book. However, this ancient book looked very ordinary at that time. Ling Xiao and the Supreme True Dragon's attention was attracted by the godhead, so why would they notice this ancient book? Later on, the True Dragon ambushed Ling Xiao and stole the godhead. Ling Xiao detonated his body and was reborn 10,000 years later. And this ancient scroll followed him to 10,000 years later. Could it be that my rebirth has something to do with this ancient scroll? Ling Xiao guessed. He used his mental strength to touch the ancient scroll. 9 colors flashed. The ancient scroll was slowly flipped open, but there was not a single word on it. A total of 108 pages were empty. It shone with a dense light and was very mysterious. Strange, what is this ancient scroll? Ling Xiao was very confused. No matter whether he used his mental strength or his internal force, the ancient scroll did not move at all. It just floated calmly in the space between his eyebrows. However, when he used the sky-devouring secret technique, Ling Xiao found that the ancient scroll actually moved a little. There's hope. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. The profound of the heaven-devouring secret skill began to revolve. The scripture slowly flowed in his heart. Then, Ling Xiao saw the ancient book begin to shine brightly. Then, the scripture of the heaven-devouring secret skill appeared on the ancient book like a stream of light. It appeared on the 14th page of the ancient scroll. There was a small line of words under the sky-devouring secret technique. 14th heavenly star border. 14th heavenly star border? Could it be the ranking of the sky-devouring secret technique? This ancient scroll is a book that records the ranking of the secret techniques? Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. He thought about the origin of this ancient scroll. I'll call it the wordless heavenly book in the future. I wonder if the secret technique that the true dragon obtained will appear on this scroll. Ling Xiao's heart moved. He had exchanged secret techniques with the true dragon. The secret technique that the true dragon cultivated was called the ancestral dragon secret technique. However, it was a little incomplete. After being framed by the true dragon, Ling Xiao did not dare to cultivate it recklessly. However, although the true dragon was ranked second among the 10 titled supremes, his physical body was unparalleled. He had already cultivated the true dragon body. Just the strength of his physical body alone could destroy stars and overturn rivers and seas. It was extremely terrifying. Even Ling Xiao felt inferior. If he could successfully cultivate the ancestral dragon secret technique, with the sky-devouring secret technique and the ancestral dragon secret technique, Ling Xiao would definitely surpass the peak of his previous life. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao was extremely tempted. Heaven and earth, the birth of chaos, the birth of a dragon, the ruler of all living beings, swallowing the sun and moon, changing yin and yang, the 5 elements wind and thunder. Ling Xiao's heart moved. He began to recite the ancestral dragon secret technique's incantation. Boom! As expected, after Ling Xiao recited the ancestral dragon secret technique, a bright light fell on the wordless heavenly book. The ancestral dragon secret technique was listed first in the earth emanations. Just as Ling Xiao expected, the ancestral dragon secret technique's ranking also appeared on the wordless heavenly book. Heavenly spirits and earth emanations? 36 celestial spirits, 72 earthly fiends, a total of 108. It just so happens to correspond with the pages on the wordless heavenly book. Could it be that there are 108 secret techniques in this world? Ling Xiao guessed. Then, he looked at the page of the ancestral dragon secret technique eagerly. It's really been completed. Ling Xiao's face was filled with joy. This ancestral dragon secret technique was mysterious and unfathomable. It was as if a primordial ancestral dragon that was 1,000,000 miles long was floating on the wordless heavenly book, creating all kinds of strange and unpredictable scenes. There were a total of 7 realms in the ancestral dragon secret technique: water dragon physique, earth dragon physique, flying dragon physique, heavenly dragon physique, true dragon physique, divine dragon physique, and ancestral dragon physique. For every realm that was successfully cultivated, one's physical strength would increase by 100 times. 10,000 years ago, the ancestral dragon secret technique that Supreme True Dragon obtained only had 5 realms. That was why he was called Supreme True Dragon and not Supreme Ancestral Dragon. Looking at the description of the ancestral dragon secret technique, Ling Xiao couldn't help but click his tongue. His current physical strength had already reached an extremely terrifying level. If he were to cultivate the ancestral dragon's secret skill to perfection, how terrifying would that be? Chapter 24. However, the amount of resources required to cultivate the ancestral dragon secret technique is truly terrifying. No wonder 10,000 years ago, the Supreme True Dragon went on a crusade all over the world, fighting for territory and resources. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly. Although the ancestral dragon secret technique was extremely terrifying, the amount of resources required to cultivate each level was 100 times more than the previous one. For example, if one wanted to cultivate the first level of the Jiao dragon body, not only would they need 100,000 upper spiritual stones, they would also need various spiritual herbs to refine a dragon transformation pill. I can ask Nangong Xian for upper spiritual stones when I return to the sect. The dragon transformation pill is only a upper spiritual pill, so it's not difficult to refine. However, there are a few spiritual herbs that are harder to refine. It seems like I have to make a trip to Longevity City. Ling Xiao thought to himself. The Longevity City had a deep relationship with the Longevity sect. A few thousand years ago, the Longevity City was still in the hands of the Longevity sect. However, as the Longevity sect gradually declined, the Longevity City also changed owners. Now, it had become one of the main cities of the Grand Desolation ancient country. Longevity City was the largest city within a few thousand miles. It represented the Great Barren ancient country. Therefore, even the three major sects did not dare to be disrespectful in front of Longevity City. Longevity City was also the largest trading city. It was very prosperous and should have the spiritual herbs that Ling Xiao needed to refine the dragon transformation pill. Ling Xiao left the fearsome Beast Mountain range and headed towards Longevity City. Not long after Ling Xiao left the fearsome Beast Mountain range, an uninvited guest came to the swamp where he caught the 1,000-year scarlet toad. Who is it? Who killed young Master Ma Jun? The visitor was a middle-aged man with an aquiline nose. He wore a black robe and had a gloomy expression. When he saw the corpses of Ma Jun and the other He Huan sect disciples, his eyes were filled with shock and anger. These injuries were caused by the small Vajra fist. Small Vajra fist? Are you from Longevity sect? How dare you kill young Master Ma Jun? I think you're tired of living. The middle-aged man gritted his teeth and there was a trace of fear in his eyes. Ma Jun's father was Elder Qi of He Huan sect. He was also the only upper alchemist in He Huan sect. Thinking of his terrifying methods, the middle-aged man felt a chill run down his spine. Bring them back and let the seventh elder deal with them. The middle-aged man made a grabbing motion in the air, and a huge hand made out of real qi fell down, grabbing Ma Jun and all the other disciples of the all-pleasure sect. Then the middle-aged man leaped into the air and dashed out of the forest. At this moment, Ling Xiao was already swaggering towards Longevity City. He didn't know that He Huan sect had already begun to investigate Ma Jun's murderer. However, even if he knew, he wouldn't care. Long Life City occupied an area of over 100 miles. The city walls were tall, and it was extremely prosperous. Ling Xiao entered the city and made some inquiries. Then he headed towards the Spirit Medicine Pavilion. The Spirit Medicines Pavilion was the largest medicinal pill store in the entire Lifelong City. They had all sorts of spirit pills and spirit medicines. It was rumored that there were even powerful alchemists in charge of the store. They should have the spirit medicines that Ling Xiao needed. The Spiritual Medicine Division was a 3-story shop that faced the street. It looked very imposing. As soon as Ling Xiao walked in, a pretty girl immediately came forward to greet him. Is this the first time you've come to our Spiritual Medicine Pavilion? What do you need? We have all kinds of spirit pills and spirit herbs here, and the quality is guaranteed. The pretty girl introduced them in a very familiar manner. Everything you want? Alright, I need Dragon Transformation Grass, Level 5 Demonic Beast Blood Essence, Boundless Flower, Yin Yang Vine. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and casually listed the names of more than a dozen spirit medicines. The pretty girl was stunned. This young man who looked about the same age as her had never heard of any of the spirit medicines that he listed. And Level 5 Demonic Beast Blood Essence? Level 5 demonic beasts were already comparable to grandmasters. They were extremely powerful, and their blood essence was naturally extremely precious. But what the hell were the other spirit medicines? Seeing the pretty girl's reaction, Ling Xiao understood. Although these spirit medicines weren't very precious, they weren't common either. Most likely, only alchemists would know about them. Ling Xiao didn't make things difficult for her. He smiled faintly and said, "Go and invite the strongest alchemist here. He will definitely know." The young girl was a little troubled. Who knew if the spirit medicines that this young man listed were real or not? If it was a prank, she would definitely scold him. However, if it was real, then this young man's background was very unusual. Just as the young girl was hesitating, a clear voice suddenly sounded. What a big tone. Even I have never heard of the spirit medicines that you listed. Could it be that you're here to cause trouble? You dare to cause trouble in the spiritual medicine pavilion? You've got guts. A young girl in a red dress walked down from the second floor. Her figure was very hot, and her face was also very beautiful. At this moment, she was staring at Ling Xiao with a face full of disbelief. Miss Lu, you're here. When the pretty girl saw the young girl in the red dress, her face immediately showed an extremely respectful expression. The appearance of the young girl in the red dress also caused a commotion on the first floor. Through the discussion of the surrounding people, Ling Xiao also knew the identity of the young girl in the red dress. She was the daughter of the Longevity City's Lu Xiongfei, Lu Piapiao. Just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean that these spirit medicines don't exist. You're just a low-level alchemist. Ask that old man behind you to come out. If he can't recognize them, then your spiritual medicine pavilion signboard can be removed. Ling Xiao said casually. Lu Piapiao's talent was indeed good. Cultivation of level 9 true energy realm, low-level alchemist, and only 17 years old. She would be considered a genius anywhere. What's more, alchemists were a mysterious group of people who were sought after everywhere. What an arrogant boy. Who the hell are you? Although there are many spirit medicines in this world that I don't know, it doesn't mean that you know. I think you must be a spy from other pharmacies who deliberately came to cause trouble. Lu Piapiao stared at Ling Xiao with a face full of disdain. You're a frog in a well. Ling Xiao sneered and was too lazy to argue with her. But this sentence made Lu Piapiao angry. She screamed and said, Who are you calling a frog in a well? It seems that if I don't teach you a lesson today, you won't know how powerful I am. After saying that, Lu Piapiao rolled up her sleeves and released her genuine qi. She was about to charge at Ling Xiao. This little girl's temper was really hot. Ling Xiao was too lazy to argue with her. He glanced in the direction of the spiritual medicine pavilion and a smile appeared on his face. He shouted loudly, The furnace is going to explode. The furnace is going to explode. The furnace is going to explode. Ling Xiao's voice was very clear. He shouted 3 times in a row, resounding throughout the spiritual medicine pavilion. Boom! Only a moment later, a loud bang was heard. The ground shook, and the whole spiritual medicine pavilion began to shake. An old man with white hair and beard ran out of the inner courtyard of the spiritual medicine pavilion. His clothes were burnt black, and even his hair and beard emitted a burnt smell. He looked flustered and exasperated. Chapter 25. Everyone was stunned for a moment, but then they revealed excitement and reverence. Master Jiao Mu! Someone exclaimed. His voice was filled with excitement. They recognized this old man. Master Jiao Mu was a low-grade alchemy master. He was the most powerful alchemy master in the entire Longevity City. He was usually elusive, and countless experts were respectful to him. This was because Master Jiao Mu could refine treasured pills. Spirit pills, treasured pills, and Dao pills respectively corresponded to alchemists, alchemy masters, and alchemy grandmasters. Alchemy masters were influential figures even in the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom. They didn't even need to bow to the king. The appearance of such an important figure in Longevity City had stirred the hearts of countless experts. Before Lu Piapiao could react, she saw Master Jiao Mu standing in front of her in an extremely sorry state. She immediately revealed a respectful expression. Master Jiao Mu waved his hand and asked anxiously, Piapiao, there's no need to be so polite. Who was the one who shouted for the furnace to explode? As he spoke, his eyes searched the crowd. Master, it's this kid. Could it be that his shout interrupted Master's refinement? I'll kill him now to vent your anger for you. Lu Piapiao pointed at Ling Xiao and sneered. She was about to attack. Wait. Master Jiao Mu stopped Lu Piapiao. His old and wise eyes sized up Ling Xiao. He said, Little brother, how did you know that the furnace was going to explode? Lu Piapiao was dumbfounded. She knew very well how arrogant her master was. Even her father, Lu Mingchen, was the city lord of Longevity City. Master Jiao Mu didn't mince his words. Now, he actually called this detestable kid little brother? Ling Xiao glanced at Master Jiao Mu indifferently and said, "You were refining the 7 profound treasure pill just now, right? As an alchemy master, don't you know that the flowing fire copper can't be used casually? I know that you want to use the flowing fire copper to replace the yin-yang grass. Unfortunately, although the flowing fire copper contains the power of water and fire and can neutralize the energy of extreme yin and yang pills, it also contains a trace of golden energy. According to your refining method, the furnace will explode even if you refine it 100 times. You actually know about the 7 profound pellet?" Master Jiao Mu exclaimed. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Then realization dawned on him and he began to dance with joy. "Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Although more than half of the Gingjin Qi in the flowing fire copper has been melted by me, there are still remnants. At the critical moment, it will cause the Dan to be unstable and the risk of directly exploding." "Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful." The old man danced with joy, and the way he looked at Ling Xiao became more respectful. One had to know that the 7 profound pellet was a type of pellet from ancient times. It was refined with 7 main spiritual herbs and hundreds of supplementary herbs. It could help a dragon tiger realm expert to break through, comprehend the connection between heaven and man, comprehend the realm of heaven's will, and break through to the master realm. It was extremely miraculous. Although the 7 profound treasure pill was only a low-grade treasure pill, it was much more precious than an ordinary mid-grade treasure pill. Master Jiao Mu had inadvertently obtained a fragment of the 7 profound treasure pill and deduced more than half of it. Until now, he still hadn't deduced the complete 7 profound treasure pill formula. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to be able to say this ancient pellet formula. "Young friend, may I ask how to solve the problem of the flowing fire copper?" The old man's expression was fervent, like a disciple seeking guidance from his teacher. His expression was very respectful, and the surrounding people's eyeballs almost fell to the ground. Is this brat really that powerful? He must be a liar. He's just a meridian opening stage brat. How dare he talk about Dan Dao here? I'll definitely teach him a lesson later. Lu Piapiao's face was full of unwillingness, and her gaze towards Ling Xiao became colder. "You're using the flowing fire copper to solve the conflict between the cinnabar wood and the heartless flower, right? But you went astray from the beginning. You thought that the cinnabar wood was a fire spirit medicine, and the heartless flower was a water spirit medicine. But you didn't know that the cinnabar wood contains a trace of wood spirit, and the heartless flower can produce a trace of fire spirit. Both of them are negative yin and embrace yang. There's no need to do anything. You only need to use the rootless water to stimulate the spiritual qi in them. As an alchemy master, you actually don't know such a simple problem?" Ling Xiao looked at Master Jiao Mu as if he was looking at an idiot. The old man's face was red, but the admiration in his eyes grew stronger. "Looks like too many things have changed in the past 10,000 years. Even the 7 profound treasure pill formula has been lost." Ling Xiao sighed and thought to himself, "Young friend, you're really a genius in Dan Dao. Now that I've heard you say it, it's more than a few years of my hard work. Young friend, please have some tea in the back hall. This old man still has much to learn from you." Master Jiao Mu was impatient. Ling Xiao's words seemed to have opened up a new world for him. He immediately pulled Ling Xiao towards the back hall of the spiritual medicine hall. "I'm afraid I really don't have time," Ling Xiao said indifferently. "I still have some spirit herbs to buy. I don't have time to waste here." "Spirit herbs? What spirit herbs?" "Young friend, the spiritual medicine hall will take care of all the spirit herbs you need. Piao, quickly go and get the spirit herbs he needs," Master Jiao Mu said very casually. For an alchemy master like him, his value was very high. Any spirit herbs he took out were just a drop in the bucket. "In that case, I won't stand on ceremony." Ling Xiao chuckled. That was exactly what he wanted. After saying that, he handed the list he had prepared long ago to Lu Piapiao. Lu Piapiao pursed her lips. Although she didn't like Ling Xiao, she had no choice but to obey her master's orders. But when she saw the spirit herbs listed by Ling Xiao, her face turned green. Dragon grass, level 5 demonic beast blood essence, boundless flower, yin-yang vine. "Young man, I think you're here to take advantage of me, right? Lu Piapiao said through gritted teeth. The spirit herbs listed by Ling Xiao were all precious and were worth hundreds of thousands of upper-grade spirit stones. She originally thought that Ling Xiao only needed spirit herbs for meridian-opening realm cultivation. She didn't expect this young man to demand so much. Even if Master Jiao Mu was rich, he couldn't be so generous. Dragon Grass, Level 5 Demonic Beast Blood Essence. Young friend, could this be? Master Jiao Mu seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes immediately revealed an extremely excited expression. When he saw Ling Xiao's gesture for him to keep quiet, he immediately shut his mouth. Piapiao, why aren't you going? These spiritual herbs are all on me. Hurry up and bring them over. Master Jiao Mu instructed impatiently. Lu Piapiao replied with grievance, but she also found Ling Xiao more and more unpleasant to the eye. Young friend, please. Master, after you. Ling Xiao saw that Jiao Mu, this old man, was very considerate and had settled all the spirit herbs needed for the dragon grass pill. He also laughed and followed Master Jiao Mu to the back hall. Chapter 26. In an antique quiet room, incense rose in spirals. Many spirit herbs and books were scattered around. In the center was a red pill cauldron, with a faint medicinal fragrance spreading out. Little friend, please have a seat. May I know who your master is? Jiao Mu invited Ling Xiao to sit and asked with a smile. Ling Xiao's words just now showed his extraordinary alchemy talent, making Jiao Mu guess that perhaps Ling Xiao was a disciple of those large sects or sacred grounds. Otherwise, how could he have such monstrous talent? I don't belong to any sect. This alchemy knowledge is merely something I blindly pondered about myself. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. Little friend, you're too humble. How about we discuss alchemy? Jiao Mu only thought that Ling Xiao did not want to reveal his background. But when he heard Ling Xiao mention the 7 profound treasure pill, he was already impatient and could not help but invite. Then, all right. Ling Xiao frowned but still agreed. After all, the spirit herbs needed to make the dragon transformation pill were not cheap. On account of this old man providing him with spirit herbs, Ling Xiao decided to reluctantly give him some pointers. In the quiet room, Ling Xiao and Jiao Mu began to discuss alchemy. Who is Ling Xiao? The alchemy supreme from 10,000 years ago. Even if he did not have any cultivation now, casually revealing a bit of alchemy was enough to shock Jiao Mu. At the beginning, Jiao Mu could still chime in a sentence or two. But the more it went on, the more shocked and respectful Jiao Mu's face became. In the end, he simply sat on the ground like a student listening to a lecture, listening to Ling Xiao talk about alchemy. A few hours passed in the blink of an eye. When Ling Xiao's last sentence landed, Jiao Mu's body trembled. He then took a deep breath and bowed deeply to Ling Xiao. Listening to Master's words today is better than 10 years of my hard work. Master, please accept me as your disciple. I'm willing to be at your beck and call and serve you. Jiao Mu was already completely convinced by Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with fanatical worship. From Ling Xiao's words just now, he even felt that the bottleneck that had been stagnant for many years was actually showing signs of loosening. Perhaps it would not be long before he could break through to middle-grade alchemy master. I'm not some master. My name is Ling Xiao. You want to be my disciple? With your talent, forget it. Ling Xiao did not know whether to laugh or cry as he looked at Jiao Mu and shook his head. What a joke! Which of Ling Xiao's disciples in his previous life didn't have exceptional talent? They might break through to the noble plane at a young age and have unparalleled combat strength, or they might become supreme alchemists and become renowned throughout the world. Jiao Mu was almost 100 years old and had only become an alchemy grandmaster. This talent was naturally extremely ordinary in Ling Xiao's eyes. Young Master Ling, if you don't promise me, I won't get up. Jiao Mu was extremely thick-skinned. He actually knelt on the ground directly, as if he wouldn't get up if Ling Xiao didn't agree. If an outsider saw this, their eyeballs would probably fall out. Who is Jiao Mu? He was a famous alchemist in the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom, and even the monarch would treat him with respect. Yet, he was crying and fighting to be the disciple of a young man? Master, I've already prepared the elixirs that Brat asked for. Master, what are you doing? At this moment, Lu Piapiao pushed the door open and entered. She pouted and looked unwilling. However, when she saw Jiao Mu kneeling in front of Ling Xiao, her expression changed instantly. Brat, what kind of bewitching potion did you feed my master? I'll kill you. Lu Piapiao's violent temper immediately flared up. She unsheathed her sky-blue sword behind her back and stabbed it towards Ling Xiao like a ray of light. Piapiao, how dare you? Jiao Mu's expression changed. He immediately grabbed with his hand, and the void seemed to condense. A powerful aura spread out, and a transparent wall of air seemed to appear in front of Lu Piapiao, making it difficult for her sword to move forward. Grandmaster? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He didn't expect that this rather wretched old man in front of him was actually a grandmaster. He was even weaker than Nangong Xian. Young Master Ling, please forgive me. Piapiao is young and doesn't know any better. Please don't lower yourself to her level. These are the elixirs that my master needs, and these 1 million upper-grade spirit stones are my pocket money to show my respect to my master. Jiao Mu took the jade box filled with elixirs from Lu Piapiao's hands, then took out a storage bag and respectfully presented it to Ling Xiao. What? Take this brat as my master? Master, have you gone senile? Lu Piapiao exclaimed when she heard Jiao Mu's words. Her face was full of disbelief. This old man is quite sensible. Ling Xiao said in his heart. The dragon transformation elixirs and elixirs that he needed were all prepared. Moreover, this old man looked quite rich. 1 million upper-grade spirit stones would make Nangong Xian's heart ache, but this old man took it out without batting an eye. Moreover, Ling Xiao only saw fanaticism and purity for alchemy in Jiao Mu's eyes. There were no other impurities. For some reason, Ling Xiao's heart softened. All right, since that's the case, I'll reluctantly take you in as a registered disciple. Whether you can become an official disciple in the future depends on your luck. Ling Xiao frowned. In the end, he reluctantly agreed. Seeing Ling Xiao's expression, Lu Piapiao almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Master Jiao Mu gave Ling Xiao elixirs and spirit stones to take him in as his master, but Ling Xiao looked reluctant and only took him in as a registered disciple? Where did this brat get his confidence from? However, Jiao Mu was overjoyed. He knelt 3 times and bowed 9 times to Ling Xiao respectfully. Disciple Jiao Mu greets master. He did not have the slightest bit of shyness or embarrassment to take a young man as his master. With this kind of fanaticism and belief in alchemy, even if he was not talented enough, he would definitely be able to reach the peak in the end. Get up. Ling Xiao waved his hand, and his attitude towards Jiao Mu was much better. May I ask, master, are you taking these elixirs to refine the legendary dragon transformation elixir? Jiao Mu asked with some anticipation. Legendary? Could it be that even the dragon transformation elixir has been lost? Ling Xiao frowned. Looking at Jiao Mu's fanatical and expectant gaze, he knew that the dragon transformation elixir's formula had probably been lost as well. He did not expect that after 10,000 years, the world's alchemy standards would actually wither to such an extent. Master, you don't know, but legend has it that the tiger-subduing elixir and the dragon transformation elixir are the 2 most suitable elixirs for early-stage martial artists. They can refine one's marrow and allow one to be reborn and improve one's aptitude. It's very miraculous. The tiger-subduing elixir can allow one to have tough tiger bones, and the dragon transformation elixir can allow one to have diamond dragon bones. However, the dragon transformation elixir's formula has long been lost. Only the tiger-subduing elixir's formula is still being passed down. However, it is also incomparably precious. In the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom, it is said that only the Protector has the tiger-subduing elixir's formula. Normally, a single tiger-subduing elixir is worth tens of thousands of gold. Chapter 27. So that's how it is. You have a good eye. Just from the dragon transformation grass and the rank 5 demonic beast's blood essence, you can infer that I'm refining the dragon transformation pill. Since that's the case, you can watch from the side when I'm refining the dragon transformation pill. Ling Xiao smiled and admitted that he was going to refine the dragon transformation pill. Although Jiao Mu had already guessed it, he couldn't help but be overjoyed at this moment. Thank you, master. I wonder if Pia Piao. Jiao Mu glanced at Lu Pia Piao. She can also stay. Ling Xiao smiled and didn't lower himself to this little girl's level. Lu Pia Piao snorted and turned her head. She didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, this despicable brat would become her grandmaster. She couldn't accept this no matter what. Lu Pia Piao's eyes widened, waiting to see Ling Xiao make a fool of himself. You can even refine a lost pill like the dragon transformation pill? Who are you kidding? Refining pills was a real battle. She didn't think that a meridian opening realm brat like Ling Xiao could have high attainments in alchemy. When Ling Xiao failed in refining the pill, she would definitely mock this despicable brat. It's actually a peerless spiritual weapon, and it's powered by earth fire. This pill furnace is not bad. Ling Xiao walked to the center of the quiet room and touched the red pill furnace in the center with a smile. Master, I obtained this red cloud furnace from an ancient ruin. It said that it's a pill furnace from ancient times and can increase the success rate of refining pills by 10%. However, although I used earth fire to build the array, one needs to be at least a high-grade alchemist to activate the red cloud furnace. You? Jiao Mu said hesitantly. Although he knew that Ling Xiao's attainments in alchemy were extremely high, Ling Xiao was only at the meridian opening realm. Even if he was a genius, he would only be a low-grade alchemist at most. It would be beyond his ability to refine an ancient pill like the dragon transformation pill. Generally speaking, the improvement of mental strength could only rely on the breakthrough of the realm. The true Qi realm corresponded to low-grade alchemists, the spirit transformation realm corresponded to mid-grade alchemists, and the dragon tiger realm corresponded to high-grade and peerless alchemists. The grandmaster realm corresponded to low-grade and mid-grade alchemists. Logically speaking, Ling Xiao was only in the meridian opening realm and had not even touched the door of alchemy. However, Ling Xiao said confidently that he was going to refine the superior-grade dragon transformation pill. How could Jiao Mu not be suspicious? Bullshit. Even I can barely refine low-grade spirit pills. This brat is really boasting shamelessly. Lu Pia Piao sneered in her heart. Ling Xiao seemed to have seen through Jiao Mu and Lu Pia Piao's thoughts. He smiled faintly and said nothing. He stood in front of the red glow cauldron. Bang! Ling Xiao's palm landed on the red dawn cauldron, emitting a crisp sound. Sparks flew in all directions, and a ball of blazing flames shot out from the cauldron. Master, I haven't activated the formation yet. Before Jiao Mu could finish his sentence, an incomparably horrified expression appeared in his eyes. This was because Ling Xiao had already activated the earth fire array and started to heat up the crimson dawn cauldron. Jiao Mu's eyes lit up as he stared unblinkingly at Ling Xiao's hand. Boom, boom, boom. Ling Xiao's expression was calm. His palms moved like the wind, forming a series of hand seals. In the end, they formed a series of afterimages in the void, hitting different parts of the crimson dawn cauldron. Every time Ling Xiao struck, the crimson dawn cauldron would flicker with a trace of light. In the end, the crimson dawn cauldron was enveloped by endless crimson dawn cauldron. The temperature in the quiet room rose abruptly. This kind of preheating technique is unheard of. Jiao Mu's eyes began to glow with excitement. Ordinary alchemists used the earth fire to preheat the cauldron. It was very slow and difficult to preheat the cauldron evenly. But now, the crimson dawn cauldron in Ling Xiao's hands seemed to have a mind of its own. Every part of the cauldron emitted blazing waves of heat. What a charlatan! Lu Pia Piao pursed her lips, but there was a trace of shock in her eyes. At this moment, Ling Xiao slapped the jade box. Hundreds of spiritual herbs turned into streams of light and entered the crimson dawn cauldron. Is he extracting the essence of the spiritual herbs? Jiao Mu's eyes revealed a trace of shock. Ordinary alchemists would extract the essence of the spiritual herbs one by one. But Ling Xiao actually put hundreds of spiritual herbs into the crimson dawn cauldron directly, extracting the essence of hundreds of spiritual herbs at the same time. Jiao Mu's first reaction was that it was impossible. Master, this brat is finished. Let's stay away from him in case the cauldron explodes. Hundreds of spiritual herbs with different attributes. This brat is playing with fire. Who does he think he is? Alchemy Grandmaster or Supreme Alchemy Master? What a waste of these spiritual herbs. Lu Piapiao sneered. Don't talk nonsense. Maybe Master has a way to extract hundreds of spiritual herbs at the same time. Jiao Mu felt that he couldn't believe his own words. Master, even alchemy grandmasters have to be extremely cautious when extracting so many spiritual herbs at the same time. Moreover, those methods have long been lost. Ling Xiao definitely doesn't know how to do it. Let's hurry up and leave before the cauldron explodes. Lu Piapiao pulled Jiao Mu and wanted to leave. Wait. Jiao Mu's eyes suddenly lit up. Flames flickered in Ling Xiao's hands. The entire crimson glow cauldron buzzed and trembled. Then, 2 flames rose and turned into 2 dragons, wrapping around the crimson glow cauldron. The crimson glow cauldron was filled with a medicinal fragrance. This level of medicinal fragrance means that the purest spiritual herb essence has been extracted. How is this possible? Jiao Mu's eyes were filled with disbelief. He stared at Ling Xiao with wide eyes, not daring to miss a single detail. This brat actually did it. Lu Piapiao's mouth was also wide open. She looked at Ling Xiao as if she was looking at a monster. The 2 dragons, one red and one black, circled around each other, inhaling and exhaling clouds. The flames were dazzling and the entire crimson glow cauldron was gushing with auspicious air. It was very magical. In the end, the spiritual herb essence in the crimson glow cauldron seemed to have turned into a colorful cloud brocade. It floated out and appeared in the middle of the 2 dragons. Buzz. The spiritual herb essence was round and bright, as if it was made by heaven. It was like a colorful spiritual pearl. It was very beautiful. The 2 dragons circled around each other like 2 dragons playing with a pearl, causing the colorful spiritual pearl to become even hotter. This is the legendary 2 dragons playing with a pearl? Jiao Mu's voice was trembling, and his eyes were filled with fanatical worship. Jiao Mu recalled an ancient record he had read in an ancient book. 10,000 years ago, the sky-devouring supreme was unparalleled in the Tao of alchemy. His best fire control technique was the 9 dragons playing with a pearl. It was said that the 9 dragons playing with a pearl was able to refine a transcendent divine pill that could allow one to become a god in a single step. It was said that the sky-devouring supreme was punished by the heavens because he refined a transcendent divine pill. The 2 dragons playing with a pearl was the simplified version of the 9 dragons playing with a pearl. Although it was not as refined as the 9 dragons playing with a pearl, it was still very magical. Chapter 28. Is this kid really so powerful? Lu Piapiao looked at the 2 lifelike fire dragons. Although she couldn't see Ling Xiao's technique clearly, she still felt that he was very powerful. That kind of fire-controlling technique that was like moving clouds and flowing water, polishing the unformed elixir into a primordial chaos rui, had a strange rhythm. If it wasn't for Ling Xiao's young face, Lu Piapiao would have thought that an alchemy master was refining pills. The pill is about to be formed. Jiao Mu was shocked when he saw that the fire dragons were changing again. Boom! The 2 fire dragons, one red and one black, spewed out 2 rays of light at the same time. The essence of the pill in the center suddenly swelled up. Then, the 2 fire dragons instantly merged with the essence of the pill, and a faint dragon mark spread out. At this moment, Ling Xiao's face turned pale, but his eyes were still incomparably calm. The speed of his hand seals also became faster and faster. Buzz. In the end, the red cloud cauldron began to buzz and tremble. The essence of the pill was like a nebula, flowing with colorful lights. In an instant, it split into 9 rays of light and directly shot into the sky. Ling Xiao spat out a mouthful of white gas, and the jade bottle in his hand that he had prepared beforehand accurately collected the 9 streaks of light. Success! Ling Xiao's face revealed a trace of joy. With the dragon transformation pill and the spirit stones that Jiao Mu gave him, he could completely cultivate the body of a flood dragon. Thinking about the description of the body of a flood dragon, Ling Xiao's heart was burning with excitement. This was the first time he refined a pill after 10,000 years. Although Ling Xiao's mental strength was very strong now, comparable to that of a superior alchemist, his cultivation was still too low. Forcefully using his mental strength to activate the Red Cloud Cauldron and the Earth Fire Array was still a great burden to him. After successfully refining the Dragon Transformation Pill, Ling Zhao's mental strength was almost exhausted. Is this the Dragon Transformation Pill? Jiaomu came up and looked at the dazzling pill in Ling Zhao's hand with an extremely excited expression. The Dragon Transformation Pill was a faint gold. There were strange patterns on the surface like dragon scales, and a fragrance assailed the nose. How could Jiaomu not be excited when he saw the long-lost Dragon Transformation Pill today? He actually refined it? Lu Piapiao's face was also filled with disbelief. This hateful brat had actually refined the legendary Dragon Transformation Pill? Where did he come from? Lu Piapiao became more curious about Ling Zhao's identity. Moreover, to her dismay, she discovered that Jiaomu had taken Ling Zhao as his master. Then wouldn't she have to call Ling Zhao ancestor? Thinking of this, Lu Piapiao's gaze on Ling Zhao became increasingly unfriendly. Prepare a quiet room for me. I want to go into seclusion. After the Dragon Transformation Pill was successfully refined, Ling Zhao could not wait to cultivate the ancestral dragon's secret skill. In his previous life, the ancestral dragon's secret technique had created the legend of the supreme true dragon's unparalleled physical body. What kind of power would it unleash on Ling Zhao now? Ling Zhao was looking forward to it. But, Master, the secret room next door is where I usually cultivate. I've even set up a spirit gathering formation inside. It's perfect for Master to cultivate. Jiao Mu respectfully opened the door to a secret room at the side. Very good. Yu Mu's lips curled into a smile. He walked in front of Lu Piapiao and said in a teasing tone, Piapiao, let me hear you call me ancestor. If you do well, I'll reward you. You're dreaming. Lu Piapiao snorted coldly and turned her head away angrily. Piapiao, don't be presumptuous. Young Master Ling is my master, so he's your ancestor. Hurry up and greet your ancestor. Jiao Mu was instantly unhappy. He looked sternly at Lu Piapiao and said, Master, you're bullying me. I won't call you that. I won't call you that. Lu Piapiao stomped her feet. Her eyes instantly turned red, and she felt greatly wronged. This little girl, she's rebelling against you? Jiao Mu immediately shouted. His face was filled with a bitter smile. All right, I'm just teasing you. Ling Zhao smiled faintly and turned to walk into the secret room. Two rays of light flew out from his hands and landed in Jiao Mu's and Lu Piapiao's hands. In Jiao Mu's hand was a pill formula, and in Lu Piapiao's hand was a dragon transformation pill. Since you're my disciple, these two items are a greeting gift. Guard the door and don't let anyone in to disturb me. Ling Zhao's voice floated out, and the door of the secret room slammed shut. This is the 7 Profound Treasure Pill Formula. After looking at the pill formula in his hand, Jiao Mu's entire body began to tremble. His eyes were filled with incomparable excitement. Thank you, Master. Jiao Mu respectfully kowtowed to the door of the secret room. His face was filled with gratitude. The 7 Profound Treasure Pill was the pill formula that he had been dreaming of for a long time. He had deduced the pill formula for a long time but could not succeed. However, Ling Zhao took it out so easily. In addition, after seeing Ling Zhao's superb alchemy skills, Jiao Mu's last bit of discomfort disappeared. On the contrary, his heart was filled with joy. He gave me the Dragon Transformation Pill just like that? Lu Piapiao's eyes widened. Her face was filled with disbelief. Her eyes were filled with extraordinary splendor as she stood there in a daze. In the secret room, Ling Zhao sat cross-legged. He took out the cauldron he had seized from the He Huan sect disciples, as well as the Dark Mother Scarlet Snake Gallbladder and other spiritual herbs. It was better for fewer people to know about refining a heaven-defying spiritual pill like the Dark Mother Pill. Moreover, the Dark Mother Pill was only a middle-grade spiritual pill. It was 1 grade lower than the Dragon Transformation Pill. For Ling Zhao, who had just finished refining the Dragon Transformation Pill, it was not difficult at all. Moreover, Ling Zhao had also refined the Chaos Golden Lotus Fire. Using the Chaos Golden Lotus Fire to refine pills was much better than using the Earth Fire. Ling Xiao first spent a few hours to recover the mental strength that he had expended. Then he used the Dark Mother Scarlet Snake Gallbladder and other spiritual herbs to refine the Dark Mother Pill. Not long after, when the Chaos Golden Lotus Fire slowly dissipated, 9 dazzling Dark Mother Pills fell into Ling Xiao's hands. Now, everything is ready. After I break through to the genuine Qi realm, it should be easier to practice the Flood Dragon body. Ling Xiao secretly thought in his heart. A powerful aura spread out from his body. After opening 360 meridians in his body and reaching the great circle of the channel opening realm, Ling Xiao had suppressed his cultivation. Now that he had let go of the suppression, the inner strength in his meridians flowed like a huge river towards his energy center. Boom! Endless energy surged, as if it was splitting the sky and earth. The powerful internal strength around Ling Xiao's body rushed over, making a muffled sound in his dantian. Then, a strange space was instantly pierced through. Now, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. 3 Dark Mother Pills were instantly swallowed into his stomach. Chapter 29. P.S. Mu Yu's new book, Eternal Great Emperor, has been released. During the release of the book, Mu Yu pleads with his brothers to vote, collect, click, and tip, and help our Eternal Great Emperor to enter the list. Thank you. The mysterious Mother Pill melted in his mouth, and 3 streams of dense energy flowed through his limbs and bones, finally rushing into his dantian Qi Si. It was like thunder in the void, constantly expanding his Qi Si. Kacha! Like a thunderclap, a blazing golden light filled the void, and a stream of innate clear Qi was born from his Qi Si, dense and pervasive, accompanied by a strong sense of power that filled Ling Xiao's entire body. Ling Xiao's dantian Qi Si was like a small world, slowly wriggling, and a majestic energy was poured into it, instantly opening up a space of 490 feet. When an ordinary martial artist broke through to the true Qi realm, they would have at least a 90 feet Qi Si. Some geniuses could even reach a Qi Si of over 200 feet or even 300 feet. Ling Xiao's Qi Si of 490 feet was already considered a peerless genius, but the main reason was because he was at the great circle of the meridian opening realm. After all, Ling Xiao's body in this life was very ordinary and did not have any special constitution. 490 feet Qi Si? It's only comparable to my previous life. This body is really bad. But this is still not enough. Ling Xiao felt his Qi Si, and a trace of a bitter smile appeared on his face. Mysterious Mother Pill, it's up to you. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a trace of expectation, and he instantly activated the medicinal power of the mysterious Mother Pill. In his previous life, when Ling Xiao broke through to the true Qi realm, he did not take the mysterious Mother Pill, but a Qi Si of 490 feet was already abnormal enough. In this life, every step he took was extremely solid, and he wanted to achieve perfection in every realm. Boom! The medicinal efficacies of the mysterious Mother Pill erupted, and swept through Ling Xiao's dantian Qi Si like a storm. 3 dense purple clouds overflowed from it, and slowly pushed Ling Xiao's Qi Si, continuing to expand in all directions. 50 feet. 510 feet. 550 feet. 650 feet. Ling Xiao's Qi Si slowly expanded, and when it finally became 990 feet, the 3 streams of dense purple Qi were completely exhausted. Qi Si of 990 feet? It seems that my dantian's Si of Qi has reached its limit. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of satisfaction. Based on the density of his true energy, Ling Xiao believed that even a martial artist at the 9th level of the true energy realm would not be his match. However, although the perfect Si of Qi is powerful, every breakthrough in the future will be more difficult and will require more resources. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a storm of energy surged around him. The sky-devouring secret technique was activated automatically, and the surrounding spiritual stones turned into majestic spiritual energy that surged into his limbs and bones. When Ling Xiao's Qi Si was completely filled with true Qi, the most central Qi vortex appeared. It was incomparably resplendent, like a galaxy of stars. Ling Zhao's cultivation was now standing at the peak of the first stage of the true energy realm. Just a little bit more and he would be able to condense the second cyclone and break through to the second tier of the true energy realm. Very good, after cultivating true qi, I will be able to use many powerful martial arts. Feeling the powerful strength in his body, Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of satisfaction. This body of mine is too useless. Otherwise, it would not have been unable to open a single meridian after a few years. However, with the ancestral dragon secret technique, everything will not be a problem. Ling Zhao thought of Supreme True Dragon. Although Supreme True Dragon had betrayed him, he had to admit that Supreme True Dragon's talent was unparalleled. He was able to become one of the top 10 titled Supremes in the War God continent mostly because of the ancestral dragon secret technique. Supreme True Dragon's aptitude was originally extremely ordinary. However, he cultivated the ancestral dragon secret technique, from the Jiao dragon body to the earth dragon body, the flying dragon body, the sky dragon body, and the true dragon body. It could be said that with every breakthrough in the ancestral dragon secret technique, Supreme True Dragon's aptitude would increase tremendously and his physical body would become even tougher. After attaining the true dragon body, Supreme True Dragon could even contend with supreme weapons with his physical body. He was extremely powerful and unparalleled. He could carry the 5 great mountains on his shoulders, move mountains and overturn seas, pluck the stars and grab the moon, and his blood qi could shatter heaven and earth. The true dragon body was even more perverse than those powerful bloodlines and physiques in the legends. Now that I have the dragon transformation pill and the top-grade spiritual stones, I can use this to break through the Jiao dragon body. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he made a decision in his heart. The spirit-gathering formation in the secret chamber seemed very inferior to Ling Zhao. It could only increase his cultivation speed by 30%. He modified the spirit-gathering formation and took out 500,000 top-grade spiritual stones to set up the formation. The spiritual energy in the spirit-gathering formation was more than 10 times thicker than the outside world. Finally, Ling Zhao entered the spirit-gathering formation. The Jiao dragon body changes the heaven and earth, gathers the essence of the sun and moon, develops the secrets of the 5 elements, develops the god of flesh and blood, transforms the qi of the 5 viscera, nurtures the congenital flower, and strengthens the Jiao dragon body. The cultivation technique of the Jiao dragon body appeared in Ling Zhao's mind and he began to cultivate it. Boom! The Jiao dragon body was a supreme cultivation technique that channeled the qi and blood in one's body to forge a peerless Tao foundation and be reborn. It involved the secret realm of the human body and was extremely mysterious. As Ling Zhao cultivated it, the qi and blood in his body began to flow and boil. The acupoints all over his body were like stars in the sky, slowly opening mysterious doors. Then, the dense spiritual energy from the outside surged wildly into his acupoints and transformed into a majestic qi and blood force. Unknowingly, there seemed to be a dragon's roar that shook heaven and earth. Traces of mysterious dragon power spread out from Ling Zhao's body. His body began to squirm and tremble unconsciously, and some black impurities were expelled. Boom! Blazing flames burned from within Ling Zhao's body. This was the fire of the 5 viscera of the human body. Triggered by the cultivation technique of the Jiao dragon body, it began to burn Ling Zhao's body and forge a strong physique. As Ling Zhao breathed, a pale golden dragonization pill began to float. Traces of dense golden air flowed from Ling Zhao's mouth and nose and surged towards his body. The pale golden air seemed to have turned into tiny Jiao dragons. It was very mysterious. So painful. The fire of the 5 viscera burned, as if even his soul was burning. Waves of tearing pain attacked Ling Zhao's body and kept him awake at all times. If it was an ordinary person, they would have fainted from the intense pain. However, Ling Zhao's face was pale, but his eyes were shining brighter. He could faintly feel that the impurities in his body that had been tainted by the mortal world were being expelled and burned into nothingness by the fire of the 5 viscera. Ling Zhao's flesh and blood began to emit a jade-like luster. The meridians in his body were as thick and strong as dragons. All the meridians in his body were open, and they were as flawless as glass. His bones were as white as jade, and his entire temperament changed. He became more ethereal and otherworldly. The Jiao dragon body not only required the dragon chi and the dragon soul, but also the dragon bloodline. The symbol of successfully cultivating the Jiao dragon body was to condense the Jiao dragon blood in the body. Chapter 30. Boom. Waves of blood surged into the sea. Countless tiny golden Jiao dragons swam in Ling Xiao's blood vessels. In the end, they converged together like a dazzling golden sun. Rumble, 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 rumble. All the blood and qi gathered at Ling Xiao's chest, forming a sparkling and resplendent blood bead that emitted traces of golden luster. The flood dragon's blood. Ling Xiao's entire body seemed to have undergone a metamorphosis. As the flood dragon's blood flowed throughout his body, Ling Xiao's bones, flesh, and tendons seemed to have been dyed with a faint layer of gold. Furthermore, faint dragon patterns formed on the surface of Ling Xiao's body. Countless spiritual qi gushed towards Ling Xiao and enveloped him, forming a milky white shell. Thump, thump, thump. It was like a huge heart was beating. Every time it beat, it would sweep away the endless spiritual energy. Ling Xiao's aura was getting stronger and stronger. It was like a chicken in the primal chaos, getting rid of all the mortal aura and returning to the flawless Xiantian realm. Just like that, after 3 days and 3 nights, the energy of 500,000 upper-grade spiritual stones was completely consumed. The giant white shell also began to crack. Crack. Ling Xiao walked out of it, his entire body filled with an incomparably powerful aura. His body exuded an explosive power. Ling Xiao gently clenched his fist, and an explosive sound rang out in the void. 129,600 jin. 1 yuan is equivalent to the strength of 1 dragon and 1 tiger. Now, with the strength of my body alone, I'm not any weaker than a dragon-tiger realm expert. Ling Xiao's eyes shone with a trace of brilliance. He was very satisfied with the results of this cultivation. Furthermore, after refining 500,000 upper-grade spiritual stones, Ling Xiao not only cultivated the flood dragon's body, but his cultivation had also reached the 3rd level of the true energy realm. This consumption is still too terrifying. Ling Xiao shook his head and laughed bitterly. 500,000 upper-grade spiritual stones was enough for a martial artist to cultivate from the channel opening stage to the Grandmaster realm. However, the harvest was also huge. In the 999-foot Qi Sea, 3 dazzling golden cyclones spun slowly, constantly devouring the surrounding spiritual qi. The flood dragon's body allowed Ling Xiao's physical strength to reach an extremely abnormal level. Although he was only at the 3rd level of the true energy realm with his 99 zhang Qi Si, his flood dragon body, and Ling Xiao, it could be said that he could sweep through the entire spirit transformation realm. Even when facing a dragon-tiger realm elite, Ling Xiao had the ability to fight. At the location of Ling Xiao's heart, there were 9 drops of golden blood that resembled 9 tiny flood dragons. This was the flood dragon's blood. When all the blood in Ling Xiao's body transformed into the flood dragon's blood, he would be able to break through to the 2nd stage of the ancestral dragon secret skill. The door to the secret room opened, and Ling Xiao walked out. Outside, Jiao Mu and Lu Piapiao's faces were originally filled with anxiety, but when they saw Yu Mu, their eyes revealed pleasant surprise. You actually broke through to the 3rd level of the true energy realm? Lu Piapiao exclaimed. Her face was full of shock. 3 days ago, when Ling Xiao entered the secret room, he was still at the 9th level of the channel opening realm. In just 3 days, he had broken through 3 small realms. It was easier than eating or drinking. How could Lu Piapiao not be shocked? One had to know that Lu Piapiao took 7 days to break through from the 9th level of the channel opening realm to the true energy realm. She was already known as a genius. And from the 1st level of the true energy realm to the 3rd level of the true energy realm, Lu Piapiao took nearly half a year. Compared to Ling Xiao, Lu Piapiao suddenly felt that her worldview had collapsed. He was really a monster. Master's cultivation has improved greatly. It's really worthy of celebration. Jiao Mu also noticed this and laughed out loud. Thank you, Master, for passing on the 7 profound treasure pill formula to me. In these 3 days, I finally succeeded in refining a cauldron of 7 profound treasure pills. Jiao Mu changed his tone and took out a jade box as if he was presenting a treasure. He poured out 3 treasure pills the size of a longan fruit. The medicinal fragrance assailed the nostrils, and they were perfectly round and resplendent. What was even more strange was that there were 7 strange patterns on the treasure pills. It really is a 7 profound treasure pill. But this 7 profound treasure pill is only a low-grade treasure pill. You actually managed to refine a medium-grade one? Ling Xiao took a closer look and frowned. Jiao Mu's face suddenly turned red. He said, "Master, you are right. I am incompetent. This kind of ancient treasure pill involves too many spiritual herbs, and I am not proficient in it yet. However, although these 7 profound treasure pills are only medium grade, it is enough for a Dragon Tiger Realm warrior to break through to the Grandmaster Realm." Ling Xiao did not speak. Instead, he pointed directly at Jiao Mu's glabella. Although Jiao Mu was a little surprised, he did not dodge and calmly accepted Ling Xiao's finger. A wave of mental strength merged into Jiao Mu's glabella. This is the fire control method of 2 dragons playing with a pearl? Jiao Mu exclaimed. His whole body trembled and he could not speak clearly. His eyes were full of gratitude and fanaticism. As my disciple, even if you are a registered disciple, you can't be too weak. Comprehend the fire control method of 2 dragons playing with a pearl well. I hope that next time, you can refine a high-grade 7 profound treasure pill. Ling Xiao said lightly, "Thank you, Master, for giving me the method." Jiao Mu bowed deeply toward Ling Xiao and impatiently ran toward the alchemy room. He was probably going to try to cultivate the fire control method of 2 dragons playing with a pearl. Ice skin and jade bones, a genius physique. You actually broke through to the spirit transformation realm. It looks like the effect of the dragon transformation pill is not bad. Ling Xiao looked at Lu Piapiao and said with some surprise. Lu Piapiao had reached the peak of the 9th layer of the true energy realm. After obtaining Ling Xiao's dragon transformation pill, not only had she been reborn, but she had also broken through to the 1st layer of the spirit transformation realm. However, Lu Piapiao did not have the secret method of the ancestral dragon, so the effect of the dragon transformation pill was not as abnormal as Ling Xiao's. Lu Piapiao's face turned red. She was extremely curious about this youth who had given her the dragon transformation pill and made Jiao Mu willingly acknowledge him as his teacher. What kind of sect could produce such a monstrous disciple? I have nothing to do. Master told me to follow you and protect you, Lu Piapiao said softly. Her snow-white neck turned red. She could not say the words, Grandmaster, no matter what. Protect me? Ling Xiao laughed involuntarily. He suddenly smiled and raised Lu Piapiao's chin with a mischievous finger. This little appearance is really not bad. Jiao Mu wants you to follow me and serve me. Be obedient and I won't treat you badly. Rogue! Lu Piapiao exclaimed and hurriedly dodged Ling Xiao's hand. Ha! Ling Xiao laughed and walked out with his hands behind his back. Lu Piapiao stomped her feet and helplessly followed. I should go back to the Changsun sect to take a look. Chapter 31. Ling Xiao and Lu Piapiao left Longevity City without stopping. Soon, they arrived at the foot of Longevity Mountain. Lu Piapiao was stunned when she saw the words Longevity Sect on a huge rock in front of her. You're a disciple of Longevity Sect? Lu Piapiao's voice was filled with shock. That's right. Is there a problem? Ling Xiao looked at the verdant Longevity Mountain and sighed. But, Lu Piapiao didn't know what to say. Longevity Sect was ranked last among the 3 sects within 1,000 miles. It was much weaker than Hahuan's sect and Demonic Palace. How could such a sect nurture such a monstrous disciple like Ling Xiao? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He naturally understood Lu Piapiao's thoughts. However, he didn't have any intention to explain. He walked towards Longevity Mountain. What a strange guy. Lu Piapiao felt that Ling Xiao was shrouded in a layer of fog. This made her even more curious. She quickly chased after him. I wonder how Shui Wei's cultivation has been in the past few days. Ling Zhao's lips curled into a smile. In this life, things remained the same but people had changed. Time had reversed. However, he felt a trace of warmth from this little girl. Moreover, Ling Xiao could faintly feel that Xue Wei's bloodline was very unusual. It seemed to be hiding some kind of secret. What's going on? Ling Zhao's brows suddenly furrowed as a bad premonition arose in his heart. As he walked up the mountain, the disciples of longevity sect that he encountered were like birds that were startled by the twang of a bow. They kept dodging, afraid that they wouldn't be able to avoid Ling Xiao in time. Just a few days ago, when Ling Xiao went down the mountain, all the disciples were still greeting him respectfully. But now, such a change had actually happened? Something happened. Ling Zhao's eyes darkened. He clearly saw a trace of schadenfreude and sympathy in the disciples' eyes. Ling Xiao couldn't be bothered to lower himself to their level. He sped up, covering more than 100 feet with each step. It was as if the ground had shrunk into an inch. He flew in the direction of Jin's pavilion. When Ling Xiao returned to Jin's pavilion and saw the scene in front of him, his expression became extremely gloomy. The bamboo forest was still bamboo forest and the waterfall was still flowing. However, Jin's pavilion was gone. Or rather, Jin's pavilion had turned into ruins. There were still traces of fire on the ground. Xue Wei! Xue Wei, where are you? Ling Xiao raised his voice and shouted. His voice was filled with suppressed anger. Although he was furious that Jin's pavilion had been burned down, he was more worried about Xue Wei's whereabouts. Ling Zhao's voice spread in all directions, causing the bamboo forest to tremble slightly. However, the figure of the white-clothed girl still did not appear. Ling Xiao clenched his fists tightly, and a burning killing intent flashed in his eyes. Who is it? Who had the guts to burn down Jin's pavilion and capture Xue Wei? Could it be Deng Yalan? I'm afraid he doesn't have the guts to do that. Ling Zhao's thoughts spun rapidly, and he was on the verge of exploding with rage. Lu Piapiao's eyes revealed a trace of shock and curiosity. She was shocked by the evil spirit emanating from Ling Xiao. He was like a peerless god of death walking out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. She could not help but turn pale. What he was curious about was, who was Xue Wei? To actually make Ling Xiao so worried and angry? At this moment, 3 figures shot out from the bamboo forest in the distance. Greetings, Saint. The 3 of them bowed respectfully to Ling Xiao. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he recognized the 3 people in front of him. They were Lu Chuanxiong, Gu Zhong, and Wang Han, whom he had rescued from the mouth of the Dark Mother Scarlet Snake in Fearsome Beast Mountain. However, at this moment, Lu Chuanxiong and Gu Zhong's faces were bruised and swollen. Wang Han's face was pale, and the 3 of them had chaotic breaths. It was obvious that they had suffered serious injuries. Tell me what's going on, Ling Xiao said expressionlessly. However, the coldness in his voice made Lu Chuanxiong and the other 2 shudder. Saint, all of this was done by Lin Haoyu. Lu Chuanxiong looked at Ling Zhao's cold face and gritted his teeth. Lin Haoyu? Ling Xiao frowned. This was an unfamiliar name. It was not done by Deng Yalan as he had imagined. After all, in the entire Changsun sect, only Deng Yalan had some grudges with him. However, he had already expressed his allegiance to Ling Xiao. Lin Haoyu is the grandson of Lin Shan, the Grand Elder. He is ranked 2nd among the pro-disciples, 2nd only to senior sister Nangong. With Lu Chuanxiong's explanation, Ling Xiao also understood what had happened. Other than the sect leader, Nangong Xian, who was a master realm expert, the Changsun sect also had a Grand Elder, Lin Shan. It was said that his cultivation was even higher than Nangong Xian's, and he was the number 1 person in the Changsun sect. Lin Shan's most beloved grandson was Lin Haoyu. He was 22 years old and was at the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm, 2nd only to Nangong Qing. Normally, Lin Haoyu was arrogant and domineering, bullying his fellow disciples. With Lin Shan as his backing, even Nangong Xian had a headache when dealing with him. Moreover, Lin Haoyu was especially proud and had always treated Nangong Qing as his exclusive property. He even wanted to become the saint of the Changsun sect, but Nangong Xian had never relented. This time, when Lin Haoyu came out of seclusion, his cultivation had broken through to the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm. He had also mastered the Changsun sect's 7 stars moon sword. He was in high spirits and his cultivation was on par with Nangong Qing. However, when he came out of seclusion, he heard that a servant disciple, Ling Xiao, had appeared in the Changsun sect. Not only had he passed the 9th level of the Longevity Tower, he had also defeated Deng Yalan, who was at the spirit transformation realm. His talent was peerless and he was recognized by Nangong Xian as the saint of the Changsun sect. The position of saint was equivalent to the position of the young sect master of the Changsun sect. Lin Haoyu had long regarded the position of the future sect master as his. Now that it had been taken by a servant disciple, wouldn't he have to salute this servant disciple in the future? How could Lin Haoyu tolerate this? Lin Haoyu was furious. He immediately led his people to the Jin's pavilion. Not only did he burn the Jin's pavilion, but he also captured Shui Wei. Saint, our cultivation was too weak and we couldn't stop Lin Haoyu. After being injured by him, we could only watch him capture Miss Shui Wei. Lu Chuanxiong said with red eyes. What about Nangong Xian and Nangong Qing? Didn't they stop him? Ling Xiao became calmer, but those who were familiar with him knew that he was furious to the extreme. Sect Master and Senior Sister Nangong are cultivating in seclusion. They don't know about this at all. After Senior Brother Deng Yalan found out, he also went to Lin Haoyu to ask for Nangong Qing. However, he was beaten up by Lin Haoyu. In the end, the Grand Elder and the Enforcement Elder stepped forward, but they were also suppressed by Lin Shan. Lu Chuanxiong and the other two's faces were filled with bitterness. Lin Shan had stepped forward and protected Lin Haoyu without any hesitation. So what if Ling Xiao was angry? Even if Nangong Xian came out of seclusion, he wouldn't fall out with Lin Shan over a maid, right? Chapter 32. Are they in seclusion? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He already knew that Nangong Xian and Nangong Qing had probably started cultivating the Longevity Supreme Scripture after obtaining it. However, he was rather surprised that Deng Yalan would stand up for Ling Xiao. It seemed like that kid's nature wasn't bad. Ling Xiao flicked his finger and 3 spiritual pills flew into the hands of Lu Chuanxiong and the other 2. Take it and heal your injuries. You guys have done well. Leave the rest to me. Ling Zhao's gaze towards Lu Chuanxiong and the other 2 was slightly gentler. Ling Xiao would remember that Lu Chuanxiong and the other 2 were willing to stand up for Shui Wei despite Lin Haoyu's strength. This is the Great Recovery Pill? Lu Chuanxiong was shocked when he saw the spiritual pill in his hand. He immediately recognized it. The Great Recovery Pill was a spiritual pill that could allow an expert of the spirit transformation realm to break through and heal their injuries. It was extremely precious and was a high-grade spiritual pill that was worth tens of thousands of spiritual stones. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to take it out so easily. Lu Piapiao curled her lips when she saw it. She naturally knew that these Great Recovery Pills were refined by Master Jiao Mu and were used by Ling Xiao as a favor. Thank you, Holy Son. However, Lin Haoyu is powerful and has the support of Grand Elder Lin Shan. Holy Son, you must not be rash. Lu Chuanxiong said sincerely. Don't worry. There are probably not many people in the Longevity sect who are worthy of me being rash. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and walked away. Lu Piapiao naturally followed closely behind. She was also very curious. Lin Haoyu's cultivation was at the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm. Although Ling Xiao was a genius, he was only at the 3rd level of the true energy realm. The difference between the two was more than 10 levels. Furthermore, Lin Haoyu had a master behind him. Where did Ling Zhao's confidence come from? Moreover, she had some expectations in her heart. Perhaps this mysterious young man who could make the proud Jiao Mu willingly acknowledge him as his master could really create a miracle? Lu Chuanxiong and the other 2 looked at the Great Recovery Pills in their hands and were slightly absent-minded. Big brother, do you think the Holy Sun is a match for Lin Haoyu? Gu Zhong asked. Hard to say. Lu Chuanxiong bitterly smiled and said, although the Holy Sun defeated Deng Yalan is only at the 1st level of the spirit transformation realm while Lin Haoyu is at the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm. Furthermore, He has mastered the 7 stars transforming moon sword, a low-grade earth-tier martial art. Deng Yalan cannot compare to him. Big brother probably thinks that the Holy Sun is going to lose. Wang Han said softly. So what if the Holy Sun wins? Don't forget, Lin Haoyu still has a Grandmaster Realm powerhouse behind him. Lu Chuanxiong shook his head. He felt his scalp go numb when he thought of the terror of a Grandmaster Realm expert. However, Big Brother, did you notice? It is said that when the Holy Sun defeated Deng Yalan a few days ago and cleared the 9th level of the Longevity Tower, he was only at level 4 of the Meridian opening stage. Just now, I saw that the Holy Sun's cultivation base was 3rd stage of the True Energy Realm. Wang Han pursed her lips and smiled, a strange light flashing in her eyes. What? Lu Chuanxiong and Gu Zhong shuddered, their eyes filled with horror. Perhaps, the saint will be able to create another miracle this time. Wang Han looked in the direction where Ling Xiao had left, her eyes filled with anticipation. Nine-Yang Peak. There was a fire vein at the bottom of the peak. The fire attribute spiritual qi was incomparably abundant, which was extremely beneficial for practicing fire attribute martial arts. This was Lin Haoyu's residence. Before Ling Xiao became the Holy Sun, only Nangong Qing and Lin Haoyu could monopolize a peak among the tens of thousands of disciples in the Longevity sect. When Ling Xiao and Lu Piapiao arrived at Nine-Yang Peak, they were stopped by 2 disciples holding swords. For you, this is senior brother Lin's cave abode. Get lost. The 2 white-clothed youths looked arrogant and cold. They held Qingfeng swords in their hands and concealed their true energy. They had already reached 3rd stage of the True Energy Realm. Lin Haoyu's dominance was evident by the fact that 2 inner disciples were guarding the mountain gate. Get Lin Haoyu out here to see me. Ling Xiao stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, How dare you call senior brother Lin's name when you're merely at 3rd stage of the True Energy Realm? You're courting death. Murderous intent flashed in the eyes of the 2 white-clothed youths as they stabbed their swords toward Ling Xiao. True energy surged like waves. Under the flickering of the swords, it was as if there were 3 huge waves rolling toward Ling Xiao. The 2 youths were using a black lower-grade martial art, vast ocean sword art. Get lost. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly. He did not expect Lin Haoyu's 2 disciples to be so arrogant. They wanted to kill him just because of a disagreement. Boom. Ling Xiao stomped his feet and the ground shook. A faint golden true energy enveloped his hand as he threw a punch toward the 2 youths. How dare you catch my sword with your bare hands? You're courting death. The 2 youths laughed sinisterly. The swords in their hands flashed and fell toward Ling Xiao's arms, intending to cut them off. But they soon realized they were wrong. The ferocious fist radiance swept over, exuding a Vajra immortal aura that could destroy the void. It instantly blasted on the 2 fine steel longswords. Crack! The complexions of the 2 white-robed youths changed drastically. They felt their arms go numb, and the steel swords in their hands were broken into several pieces. Then, a tremendous force hit them, and sent them flying hundreds of feet away. The 2 youths smashed onto the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. Their sword-wielding arms were broken at the same time. Who are you? The white-clothed youth's expression changed greatly. They were both at the 3rd stage of the True Energy Realm, but Ling Xiao was able to heavily injure both of them with a single punch. That kind of ferocious and unparalleled fist intent that seemed capable of shattering the void made both of them tremble uncontrollably. I remember now. He's Ling Xiao. Not good. Let's report to senior brother Lin. The other youth's face suddenly changed as if he had thought of something and said with a trembling voice. The 2 youths ignored their injuries and ran toward Lin Haoyu's palace. What a freakish body! Lu Piapiao secretly clicked her tongue. This was the first time she saw Ling Xiao fight. She didn't expect that Ling Xiao not only had high attainments in alchemy, but his combat strength was also very strong. Ling Xiao continued to walk toward the Nine-Yang Peak as if he didn't see the 2 youths running away. That punch just now was just a casual punch. Otherwise, with the terrifying strength of his flood dragon body, 1 punch would have been enough to turn the 2 youths into ashes. A huge palace stood at the top of the Nine-Yang Peak. When Ling Xiao walked to the entrance of the palace, many disciples rushed out and stared at Ling Xiao as if they were facing a great enemy. Ling Xiao, how dare you behave so atrociously here? Kneel down and beg for mercy. Maybe senior brother Lin will spare your worthless life. In the middle of the crowd, Ling Kuan stared at Ling Xiao and sneered. His eyes were filled with hatred. Chapter 33. Massacre the Nine Yang Peak? What arrogance! At this moment, the door of the palace opened and 3 young men wearing white robes with 3 golden swords embroidered on their sleeves walked out. Each of them had a dignified appearance and were tall and handsome. The young man on the left had a long sword on his back and a sharp gaze. His entire body exuded a fierce aura, and his cultivation had reached the 6th level of the spirit transformation realm. The young man on the right looked extremely burly with bulging muscles. He was an expert at the 3rd level of the spirit transformation realm. Ling Xiao only glanced at the 2 of them before his gaze landed on the person in the middle. He had a handsome face and a slender figure, but his lips were very thin and revealed a trace of arrogance. His eyes were like a poisonous snake, emitting a cold light. The most important thing was that his cultivation had reached the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm. He only needed a sliver of yin and yang to reach the dragon tiger realm. Lin Haoyu. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he recognized his identity. Kid, didn't you hear me talking to you? A mere 3rd level of the channel opening realm, an ant-like cultivation, dares to call yourself the Holy Sun? The one who spoke was the burly young man on the right. When he saw that Ling Xiao didn't pay attention to him, his eyes instantly turned cold. Senior brother Zhua, this kid's cultivation isn't worth mentioning, but he can activate the sect protecting formation. Be careful not to fall into his trap. Ling Kuan ran in front of Zhua Zhen and whispered. Sect protecting formation? Hee with this kid? Get out of my way. Today, I'll teach him what it means to respect his senior brother. Zhua Zhen obviously didn't believe it. Although many people said that Ling Xiao could activate the sect protecting formation, he had never seen it before. He only thought that Ling Xiao used some treasure to defeat that trash Deng Yalan. Who are you? If you don't want to die, get out of my way. Ling Xiao frowned slightly and coldly looked at Zhua Zhen. Then, his gaze landed on Lin Haoyu and coldly said, Hand over Shui Wei and I won't kill you today. Kill me? Lin Haoyu was stunned. As if he had heard a joke, he laughed loudly. Ling Xiao, I don't know how an ant like you managed to gain Nangong Xian's favor and obtain the position of Holy Sun. However, if you want Shui Wei, then give up the position of Holy Sun and kneel in front of me to beg for mercy. Perhaps I can spare her life. Otherwise, I'll have to enjoy the taste of that little girl first. Lin Haoyu laughed arrogantly, not taking Ling Xiao seriously at all. You're playing with fire. Ling Xiao didn't get angry, but the cold light in his eyes became even brighter. Kid, cut the crap. If you want senior brother Lin to release him, you'll have to get past me first. Zhua Zhen had long been furious after being ignored by Ling Xiao. At this moment, he couldn't help but jump out. Powerful genuine qi spread out from his body and oppressed Ling Xiao. That's right. If you want me to release Shui Wei, you have to defeat Zhua Zhen first. Although Lin Haoyu was arrogant, he was also quite scheming. It just so happened that Zhua Zhen jumped out. He was prepared to let Zhua Zhen test Ling Zhao's background first. Kid, have a taste of my Dragon Tiger space-shattering fist. Zhua Zhen rushed up with a hideous smile. He didn't give Ling Xiao the slightest chance to react and threw a punch. The sound of a tiger roaring in the forest rang out. This punch was wrapped in the pride of the king of beasts. It vaguely seemed to form the shadow of a fierce tiger behind Zhua Zhen, looking very domineering. It's actually the Dragon Tiger space-shattering fist? A profound-level ultimate martial art, even more powerful than the small Vajra fist. Looks like the Holy Sun is going to lose this time. Ah, what Holy Sun! He's only at the 3rd level of the true energy realm, a whole realm lower than senior brother Zhua. Previously, the few true disciples weren't here, so he was arrogant for so long. I think he'll be seriously injured even if he doesn't die. That's right. Senior brother Zhua is mighty. Many disciples shouted excitedly as their mocking and ridiculing voices rang in Ling Zhao's ears. However, Ling Zhao's expression didn't change. He was extremely calm. He waited until Zhuo Zhen's overbearing punch was about to hit him before he made his move. An earth-shattering roar rang out, as if the Tiger King was patrolling the mountains, overlooking the rivers and mountains. Ling Zhao's punch made everyone feel as if the Tiger King was pouncing on Zhuo Zhen. Zhuo Zhen was a fierce tiger, then Ling Zhao was the king of 10,000 tigers, with an insufferably arrogant aura. Boom! The two fists collided. Ling Zhao's body didn't move, but Zhuo Zhen's arm went numb. He was directly sent flying by a huge force. How is this possible? Zhuo Zhen suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes filled with disbelief. What made him feel disbelief was not only because of Ling Zhao's terrifying physical strength, but also because of Ling Zhao's attainments in the Dragon Tiger Space-Shattering Fist. The Dragon Tiger Space-Shattering Fist was a martial art given to him by the sect when he was promoted to a true disciple a year ago. It was second only to the legendary 7 Stars Transforming Moonsword. With the Dragon Tiger Space-Shattering Fist, he was confident that even those who were 1 or 2 levels higher than him were no match for him. The Dragon Tiger Space-Shattering Fist only had 3 styles: Tiger Fist, Dragon Fist, and Dragon Tiger Space-Shattering Fist. However, Ling Zhao's Tiger Fist actually had a kind of aura that made him feel terrified, as if he was facing the true form of a Tiger King. Fist intent. The young man carrying a sword on his back on Lin Haoyu's left seemed to have thought of something. His whole body trembled as he exclaimed, "What? Fist intent? Impossible!" Lin Haoyu's expression changed, and a trace of sharpness appeared in his eyes. The way he looked at Ling Zhao also became gloomy. However, when he recalled Ling Zhao's punch just now, Ling Zhao seemed to have really turned into the king of 10,000 tigers, suppressing people with the force of heaven and earth. Only those who had comprehended fist intent could release such a terrifying blow. Intent was the comprehension of the force of heaven and earth, and it belonged to the strong in the Guru realm. Every strong in the Guru realm had their own unique martial arts intent. Those who could comprehend intent before the Guru realm were all geniuses. If there were no accidents in the future, they would definitely be promoted to the Guru realm. However, Ling Zhao was only in the genuine Qi realm, and he had already comprehended intent. This kind of talent was simply terrifying. This kid must not be left alive. A trace of murderous intent flashed in Lin Haoyu's eyes. "I don't believe that your Dragon Tiger Space-Shattering Fist is stronger than mine. Go to hell." Zhuo Zhen, who was sent flying by Ling Zhao, had a hint of madness in his eyes. The majestic vital energy in his body surged as if it had a mind of its own. Clouds and mist drifted around his body, forming a dragon-shaped shadow. Following a high-pitched dragon roar, the dragon fist exploded and blasted towards Ling Zhao. The Dragon Tiger Space-Shattering Fist is not used like that. Ling Zhao sighed softly, but his eyes became sharper. Chapter 34. The dragon and tiger collided. A shadow of a tiger and a shadow of a dragon formed on Ling Zhao's fists at the same time. They intertwined with each other as if they were attracting the power of the heavens and the earth. The void trembled. No one could describe the sharpness of this punch. It was as if the void was destroyed by this punch. There was only this golden fist between heaven and earth. Boom! Zhuo Zhen's spirit transformation realm Qi couldn't even withstand a single blow from this punch and collapsed. With a crisp crack, Zhuo Zhen's arm was instantly broken and Ling Zhao's punch arrived in front of Zhuo Zhen. "Am I going to die?" Zhuo Zhen's eyes flashed with incomparable fear. The shadow of death shrouded his heart, but facing Ling Zhao's punch, he was like a small boat in the sea. There was no room for resistance. Just when everyone's eyes widened and thought that Zhuo Zhen's head would be smashed by Ling Zhao's punch, Ling Zhao's fist stopped in front of Zhuo Zhen, but that bright fist was like a blade that scraped his face painfully. "Seeing that you inherited this fist technique, I won't kill you today." Scram! Ling Zhao said indifferently. There was a hint of a meeting in his eyes. No one was more familiar with this Dragon Tiger space-breaking fist than Ling Zhao, because this was a fist technique that Ling Xiao had created when he had broken through to the Grandmaster realm. Although it was only a profound-level peerless martial art, the Dragon Tiger Sky-Shattering Fist could explode with an attack comparable to the Dragon Tiger realm. It was incomparably powerful. Zhuo Zhen looked at Ling Xiao with a complicated expression. He felt that his whole body was drenched as if he had just walked through the gates of hell. He cupped his hands toward Ling Xiao and didn't say anything. He didn't look at Lin Haoyu and just turned to leave. Seeing Zhuo Zhen's desolate back, the other disciples couldn't bear to see him leave. They knew that Zhuo Zhen had been badly beaten by Ling Xiao. A true Qi realm cultivator against a spirit transformation realm cultivator, a whole realm lower, but the result was a complete victory in 2 moves. At this moment, no one dared to look down on Ling Xiao. Even Lin Haoyu's subordinates revealed reverence in their eyes. How did he become so strong? Ling Kuan's eyes were filled with fear and jealousy. He could feel that the current Ling Xiao was more than 10 times stronger than a few days ago. No, he must die. If he doesn't die, then I will. Ling Kuan's eyes flashed with resentment. The holy son of the longevity sect? Comprehending fist intent? An alchemy genius? How many more secrets does he have? Lu Piapiao, who was standing in the distance, became more and more curious about Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao was like the mouth of a spring. The more he explored, the more he realized that there was an unfathomable ocean below. Zhuo Zhen has been defeated. Hand over Shuiwei. Ling Xiao looked at Lin Haoyu, his voice indifferent. Zhuo Zhen has lost. But I didn't say that as long as you defeat Zhuo Zhen, I will give Shuiwei to you. This junior brother Jian Wuk is a genius in the way of the sword. If you can defeat him, I might consider it. A murderous look flashed across Lin Haoyu's eyes, but he quickly regained his smile. Junior brother Wuk, kill him and we will be even. Lin Haoyu's murderous voice entered the ears of the young man on the left. The young man with the sword on his back, Jian Wuk, nodded his head and walked out. It's senior brother Jian. It is said that senior brother Jian's 7 flowing light swords has reached the Great Circle. He is only 1 step away from comprehending sword intent. Ling Xiao will definitely lose if he makes a move. A disciple exclaimed in surprise. That's right. Although senior brother Jian is only at the 6th level of the spirit transformation realm, it is said that his battle prowess is second only to senior sister Nangong and senior brother Lin. The 7 flowing light swords is also a peerless profound martial art. Although Ling Xiao's Dragon Tiger Breaks the Sky is amazing, it is still inferior to the 7 flowing light swords. I also think highly of senior brother Jian. Many disciples discussed. It was obvious that Jian Wuk's move had given them confidence. Jian Wuk? Interesting. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The young man in front of him looked no more than 20 years old, but he had already produced a trace of sword intent. Although it was weak, it was extremely pure. Jian Wuk stood there like a peerless divine sword, emitting a sharp aura that made people not dare to look at him directly. Great circle of sword arts, half-step sword intent? Ling Xiao's eyes also revealed a trace of sharpness. He felt a trace of threat from Jian Wuk, which stimulated the battle intent in his heart. Although Ling Xiao was only at the 3rd level of the true energy realm, he had the consciousness of a sovereign, the sky-devouring secret technique, and the ancestral dragon secret technique. Moreover, he knew the martial arts of the Changshan sect like the back of his hand. Other than the Dragon Tiger realm experts, he should be able to defeat everyone in the spirit transformation realm. However, Jian Wuk made Ling Xiao's eyes light up. Greetings to the saint. The Dragon Tiger Breaks the Sky was amazing. I only used 1 move. If the saint can withstand it, it will be my loss. Jian Wuk said indifferently, as if he did not see Lin Haoyu's gloomy face. Calling Ling Xiao the saint? Then what about Lin Haoyu? You are different from him. Why did you make a move? Ling Xiao looked at Jian Wuk and asked indifferently. It's just that some people have no choice but to return the favor. Today, I can use this opportunity to kill him with 1 move. Jian Wuk said slowly, but his eyes burned with passion. Whoosh! The surrounding air seemed to have solidified, and an incomparably pure sword aura spread out. When Jian Wux's gaze landed on Ling Xiao, his entire body seemed to have turned into a divine sword overflowing with cold light. Innate sword bone? Good. Very good. You can use your sword. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up, as if he felt the sword aura around him, and he smiled slightly. Clang. The long sword was unsheathed, and cold light overflowed. Jian Wux's eyes became incomparably resplendent in an instant. The true energy around him spread out, as if it had turned into transparent swords, and lifted the long sword up. The majestic aura was as vast as the sea, and it pressed down on Ling Xiao. This was a clash of sword intents. Although Jian Wux had not fully comprehended the sword intent, the sudden flash of light had made him attack unconsciously. Ling Xiao stood there, looking very casual, and there was a faint smile on his face. However, Jian Wux felt very uncomfortable. Ling Xiao looked very loose, as if there were openings all over his body, but there was not a single one. The aura that Jian Wux had accumulated was like a wave meeting a boulder. There was not a single gap to be found. The surrounding winds seemed to have stopped. Although the disciples did not know why Jian Wux and Ling Xiao were standing there without moving, the oppressive atmosphere in the air made them feel suffocated. I can't continue like this. If this goes on, I will lose before I even use my sword. Chapter 35. Swoosh. The sword shone brightly and pierced through the air like a shooting star. It flew at lightning speed towards Ling Xiao. No one could see the trajectory of this sword, and no one could describe the style of this sword. One sword light chilled 19 provinces. The crowd only saw a white light, and in the blink of an eye, it was in front of Ling Xiao. At this moment, Ling Xiao's concentration was also at its peak. The sound of something breaking through the air rang out as Ling Xiao stretched out 2 fingers. Bang! As if it had hit a wall of air, Jian Wux felt that his sword could no longer move forward. The tip of his sword had been caught by Ling Xiao's 2 fingers. The tip of the sword was only half an inch away from Ling Xiao's throat. I've lost. Jian Wux was a little sad, but he quickly regained his composure. That's right, you've lost. But you almost won. Ling Xiao said slowly as drops of blood dripped from his fingers. Ling Xiao sighed in his heart. When he looked at Jian Wux, his eyes revealed a trace of admiration. No one understood the terror of Jian Wux's sword better than him. The 7 swords of flowing light was known for its speed, and Jian Wux had already comprehended the 7th sword to the extreme. It was extremely fast and extremely sharp. After Ling Xiao's flood dragon body was refined, his physical body had reached an extremely sturdy state. However, the sharp sword qi still cut Ling Xiao's finger. If Jian Wux had comprehended sword intent, it would not have been so easy for Ling Xiao to receive this sword. He would have had to pay a huge price. Senior brother Lin, I've lost. You and I are even now. Jian Wux looked at Lin Haoyu indifferently and turned to leave, ignoring Lin Haoyu's gloomy expression. In Ling Xiao's eyes, Jian Wux seemed to have broken through some kind of shackles. His entire person had become much purer, and a pure sword intent was emitted, causing his back to straighten even more. Not bad. He's a good seedling. Ling Xiao nodded. He could predict that Jian Wux would be able to comprehend his own sword intent soon. When that time came, Jian Wux's combat strength would become extremely terrifying. Good. Very good. Pa. Lin Haoyu was so angry that he laughed. His heart was filled with fear for Ling Xiao, but at the same time, his killing intent became even more intense. Not only had Ling Xiao defeated Zhou Zhen and Jian Wux, but he had also made them betray him in the blink of an eye. This kind of scheming made Lin Haoyu shocked and angry. Let her go. Ling Xiao looked at Lin Haoyu coldly and spat out 2 words. If you want me to let her go, as long as you can defeat me. Lin Haoyu took a step forward, and a powerful aura emanated from his body. It was like the waves of the sea, wave after wave, pressing towards Ling Xiao. Make your move. Ling Xiao said coldly, a murderous look flashing across his eyes. As the saying goes, family members should not be implicated. No matter how much Lin Haoyu disliked Ling Xiao, he should not have taken Shui Wei away. It could be seen that Lin Haoyu was an unscrupulous person. Ling. So, whether Lin Haoyu let Shui Wei go or not, His fate was already sealed. At the same time, Ling Xiao sent a secret message to Lu Piapiao. When I make my move, you will rush into the palace to save Shuiwei. These are a bunch of true energy realm trash. They probably won't be able to stop you. Lu Piapiao was stunned and nodded. Indeed, with her cultivation at the first level of the spirit transformation realm, it was enough to rush in and save Shuiwei. Brat, I have to say that you are very arrogant. You want to be the holy son of my Changsheng sect with your cultivation at the third level of the true energy realm? Then you will have to ask the sword in my hand if it agrees. Lin Haoyu sneered. A blue sword was unsheathed. It shone with a dazzling light and emitted a threatening cold light. It's the Azure Ice Sword. With this spiritual weapon, senior brother Lin will win without a doubt. Ling Kuan's eyes flashed and he suddenly became excited. This blue ice sword was Lin Shan's personal sword when he was young. It was refined from 1,000-year chilling ice iron and blue copper liquid. It could cut through iron like mud and release a powerful cold air. With this blue ice sword in hand, Lin Haoyu's strength could increase by more than 30%. Even if he faced a Dragon Tiger Realm expert, he would still have the strength to fight. No wonder you are so confident. So you have a spiritual weapon in hand. However, weapons are dead and people are alive. Even if you have a spiritual weapon, it won't change your fate today. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed and he sneered. With Ling Zhao's sharp eyes, he could tell that the blue sword in Lin Haoyu's hand was a spiritual weapon. Furthermore, it was a high-grade spiritual weapon. Coupled with his cultivation at the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm, it could naturally erupt with a powerful force. Moreover, Lin Haoyu cultivated the 7 Stars Transforming Moon Sword, a low-grade Earth-level martial art. It was also the Changsheng sect's most powerful martial art. However, the more it was like this, the more excited Ling Xiao was. Ever since the heaven-devouring spiritual seed was formed and the flood dragon body was refined, Ling Xiao wanted to test how strong his battle strength was. And Lin Haoyu in front of him was the best sparring partner. Brat, don't flaunt your mouth. Lin Haoyu's eyes flashed coldly. The blue ice sword hummed and a ray of sword energy shot towards Ling Xiao. Ling Zhao's feet moved and he instantly moved 3 meters to the side. The blue sword energy pierced through a huge rock in the distance and left behind blue ice shards. Swish, swish, swish. Lin Haoyu's sword fell a few more times. With the support of his dense true qi, the blue ice sword shone brightly. The sword energy swept through the void and flickered with a cold light. However, Ling Xiao moved with the Changsheng steps. His entire person was incomparably elegant and at ease. Lin Haoyu's sword energy had no way of landing on his body. Your sword skills are far inferior to Jianwu's. Use the 7 Stars Transforming Moon Sword. Otherwise, you won't have any chance. Ling Xiao sneered and didn't hide his sarcasm. Brat, you're courting death. Lin Haoyu seemed to be really enraged. His eyes flashed with a cold light, and the majestic Shen Qi around his body spread out. The azure ice sword was dazzling, and it buzzed and trembled. Tiny sword lights intertwined in the void and surrounded the azure ice sword, as if forming a bright star. Swoosh! Lin Haoyu charged forward with sword in hand. His entire person seemed to have transformed into a meteor, moving at an extreme speed. Additionally, he also exuded a sharp light that could pierce through everything. A single star was just the beginning level of the 7 Stars Transforming Moon Sword. When this low-grade earthen tier martial art was cultivated to the Great Circle, the 7 stars would transform into a full moon and one could temporarily form a full moon sword domain. It was invincible and terrifying. However, this single star was also very powerful. In terms of speed, it was only slightly inferior to Jianwu's 7th Sword of Flowing Light. Very good. A light flashed in Ling Zhao's eyes. That sharp sword light made his skin feel slightly cold, creating a trace of pressure. However, the more it was like this, the more it stimulated Ling Zhao's will to fight. Rumble. Chapter 36. Lesser Vajra Fist. At this moment, Ling Xiao seemed to have transformed into a Vajra fist of destruction. His fists were powerful and majestic. Lesser Vajra fist? This is only a black class upper grade martial art. It's not even comparable to the Dragon Tiger space-shattering fist. Ling Xiao is really courting death. Delight flashed across Ling Kuan's eyes. He couldn't wait for Lin Haoyu to kill Ling Xiao with one strike. But in Lin Haoyu's eyes, this fist was extremely different. The surrounding heaven and earth seemed to have dimmed. Only Ling Xiao's fist shone brightly. The golden light was resplendent, as if it was going to shatter the void. Vajra descends, world-destroying fist. This was fist intent. Only by comprehending the concept of fist would one be able to display the lesser Vajra fist to such a terrifying level. Furthermore, Ling Xiao's timing was excellent. He saw the vital energy node of Lin Haoyu's sword and ruthlessly smashed it. Bang! The star shattered. Lin Haoyu's vital energy was instantly defeated. Ling Xiao's Vajra fist landed on the ice-blue sword. The ice-blue sword suffered a heavy blow and suddenly trembled. Lin Haoyu felt a huge force coming towards him. The ice-blue sword in his hand was almost sent flying. He suddenly retreated a dozen steps and felt his vital energy and blood surge. What? Ling Kuan and the other disciples trembled. Their eyes revealed a look of disbelief. How was this possible? The 7 stars transforming moon sword was actually no match for the lesser Vajra fist? And Ling Xiao was actually able to defeat Lin Haoyu, who was wielding a high-grade spiritual weapon, with his bare hands? With their eyesight, they naturally couldn't see that Ling Xiao had comprehended fist intent. But their gazes towards Ling Xiao were filled with reverence. Fist intent. So what if it's fist intent? With your cultivation at the 3rd level of the true energy realm, I want to see how many punches you can throw. Lin Haoyu's expression was gloomy. His heart was filled with jealousy. Why couldn't he comprehend fist intent? And Ling Xiao, a servant disciple, actually comprehended fist intent? The more it was like this, the more his killing intent towards Ling Xiao burned. In the end, it was already extremely dense. Even though fist intent was strong, it required the user's cultivation to support it. With Ling Xiao's meridian opening stage cultivation, he would probably exhaust his vital energy after a few moves. Swish. Swish. Lin Haoyu held his sword and rushed towards Ling Xiao, trying to use his powerful Xiantian Qi to suppress Ling Xiao. You want to fight a war of attrition? I'm afraid you've got the wrong idea. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he instantly understood Lin Haoyu's plan. However, how could Ling Xiao be afraid of such a tactic? The pores all over his body opened up, and the heaven-devouring spirit seed was like a whirlpool, madly devouring the surrounding spirit qi. In an instant, the true qi in his qi sea was filled again. It could be said that with the heaven-devouring secret technique, even if Ling Xiao was only at the true energy realm, he would not fear anyone in a battle of attrition. Although the 7 stars transforming moonsword technique was an earth-level lower-level martial skill, if Lin Haoyu used it against someone with a lower cultivation level than him, he would be at a disadvantage. But to Ling Xiao, he knew all the martial arts of the Changsun sect like the back of his hand. Furthermore, Lin Haoyu had only just learned the basics of the 7 stars transforming moonsword technique. He had not even reached the small success stage. Ling Xiao could easily find many flaws. The only thing that could threaten Ling Xiao was the azure ice sword in Lin Haoyu's hand. Rumble. Ling Xiao and Lin Haoyu's figures crossed each other at an extremely fast speed. Afterimages appeared in the void. Ling Xiao used the small Vajra fist to resist the 7 stars transforming moonsword technique, and the Vajra world-destroying fist intent allowed Ling Xiao to fight to his heart's content. Every punch of Ling Xiao's landed on the flaws of the 7 stars transforming moonsword. The seemingly sharp sword qi would often collapse upon contact, and in the end, the majestic and unparalleled power would all crash onto the azure ice sword. Lin Haoyu's arm was getting more and more numb, and his blood was surging. However, the shock on his face was getting more and more intense. How is this possible? Your true qi is not depleted at all? Lin Haoyu could not help but exclaim. Ling Xiao had been attacking with his fist intent for so long, but his true qi was not depleted at all. This made Lin Haoyu even more terrified. Boom! At this moment, While Lin Haoyu was distracted, Ling Zhao's fist landed on the azure ice sword. Lin Haoyu's arm went numb, and the azure ice sword flew out of his hand and stabbed into a huge rock in the distance. Then Ling Zhao's foot landed on Lin Haoyu's chest, and he ruthlessly kicked him into a huge rock in the distance, smashing it into pieces. Lin Haoyu could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. He was finally injured. Everyone's attention was focused on the battle between Ling Xiao and Lin Haoyu. No one noticed that a beautiful figure had flashed into the palace. Vajra fist intent? Unparalleled body? How is this possible? You're only at the true Qi realm, how can you be so strong? Lin Haoyu was about to go crazy. His face was filled with a ferocious expression. He originally thought that although Ling Xiao had comprehended fist intent and defeated Zhuo Zhen and Jian Wuk, he was still at the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm. With the 7 stars transforming moon sword and a high-grade spirit weapon, he would be able to easily defeat Ling Xiao. However, he did not expect that Ling Zhao's fist intent would not only restrain his 7 stars transforming moon sword, but also have an endless supply of true qi. Finally, the terrifying power of Ling Zhao's physical body had sent him into the abyss. I'll ask you one last time. Hand over Shui Wei, and I won't kill you. Ling Zhao's gaze landed on Lin Haoyu as he spoke indifferently. Kill me? Pa. Lin Haoyu laughed crazily. My grandfather is Grand Elder Lin Shan, and he's even stronger than Nangong Xian. Even Nangong Xian doesn't dare to say that he'll kill me. Who do you think you are? Lin Haoyu stood up and said with a sinister smile, now I've changed my mind. Ling Xiao, a piece of trash like you actually broke through to such a realm in such a short time. You must have obtained some treasure, right? Hand over your treasure, then kneel at my feet and beg for mercy. Perhaps I'll spare your worthless life. Otherwise, I'll make you beg for death. Truly, the ignorant are fearless. Ling Xiao sighed softly, and a trace of murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Brat, your maidservant originally had no cultivation at all, but you actually set up a spirit-gathering formation for her, allowing her to break through to the 6th level of the meridian opening realm in just a few days. This cultivation technique was also a fortuitous encounter of yours, right? She actually refused to let go of the item that I wanted. She's simply courting death. However, she's really stubborn, refusing to let go even after using so much torture. Have you thought it through? If you wait for my grandfather to make a move, no one in the entire Changsun sect will be able to save you. Lin Haoyu looked down at Ling Xiao and spoke with incomparable arrogance. In his opinion, although Ling Zhao's talent was unparalleled, how could he overturn the heavens in the Changsun sect? Lin Shan was the strongest in the entire Changsun sect, and he doted on Lin Haoyu the most. As long as he made a move, Ling Xiao would definitely die. Chapter 37. Torture? Ling Zhao's expression changed and became extremely cold. A trace of murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Very well, you've successfully angered me. Don't worry, I won't let you die so easily. Ling Zhao's voice was extremely cold. His heart was filled with monstrous anger. He looked at Lin Haoyu as if he was looking at a dead man. Shui Wei cultivated the longevity supreme scripture. Coupled with the spirit-gathering array set up by Ling Xiao, she naturally made rapid progress. However, she did not expect to be targeted by Lin Haoyu. Moreover, he actually tortured a weak little girl? At this moment, a red figure flashed out of the palace and instantly landed beside Ling Xiao. Lu Piapiao came out with a weak girl in a white dress in her arms. However, the white dress was stained with blood. Shui Wei was covered in wounds. Her face was very pale and her eyes were tightly shut. However, the corners of her mouth revealed a trace of heart-wrenching determination. Her snow-white wrists and ankles were full of bruises. Her body was covered in whip marks. It was a shocking sight. Ling Xiao, kill him. This bastard really deserves to die. How could he do this to such a weak girl? He's not human, he's a bastard. Lu Piapiao's eyes were also red. She looked at Lin Haoyu in the distance with murderous intent. When she entered the palace, Shui Wei was hung up with wounds all over her body. It was obvious that she had been tortured to extort a confession. Her breath was weak and she had already fallen into a coma. Lu Piapiao had never hated anyone as much as she did at this moment. "You're courting death." Lin Haoyu's expression changed drastically. He did not expect Ling Xiao to secretly send people to rescue Shui Wei when he was not paying attention. Ling Zhao's eyes instantly became bone-chilling. His body emitted a murderous aura like a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. It was as if he was a demon god who walked out of hell. Lu Piapiao, who was beside him, could not help but shiver. Ling Xiao did not say a word. He carefully took out a few elixirs and fed them to Shui Wei. Then, he said, "Take care of Shui Wei and bring her back to Jin's pavilion." After speaking, Ling Zhao's sharp eyes suddenly fell on Lin Haoyu. His murderous intent was almost tangible. "You're the one courting death." Ling Zhao's fury erupted like a volcano. The ground beneath his feet trembled, and his entire body shot up like a cannonball, charging towards Lin Haoyu. The heaven-devouring secret technique erupted. The flood dragon's body erupted. The Vajra fist intent erupted. His 990 Zhang Qi Si erupted. At this moment, Ling Xiao used all his trump cards just to kill Lin Haoyu. At this moment, whoever dared to stop Ling Xiao would be his mortal enemy. Rumble! Dazzling golden light burst forth, and Ling Xiao's entire body seemed to have turned into a glaring Vajra. The qi and blood in his body condensed, and a vast amount of Xiantian true qi gathered on his fist. Like a small sun, it pierced through the void and charged towards Lin Haoyu. This wasn't the small Vajra fist, but a peerless Earth-class martial art, the Vajra subduing Devil Fist. At this moment, if Ling Xiao unleashed his full power, even a Dragon Tiger Realm elite would be blasted into smithereens, let alone Lin Haoyu. "Ling Xiao, how dare you?" Lin Haoyu was shocked and angry. He was shocked because Ling Xiao's aura was more than 10 times stronger than before. This meant that Ling Xiao was still holding back his battle strength. He was angry because Ling Xiao dared to attack him for a maid. Was he not afraid of his grandfather? Grand Elder Lin Shan was the #1 person in the Changsun sect. If Ling Xiao dared to touch him, no matter how strong his talent was, he would definitely die. The moment you touched Shui Wei, you should have thought of today's outcome. "Don't worry, I won't let you die so easily." Ling Zhao's voice was as cold as the Grim Reaper's. He was extremely angry, and his fist was like a meteor from outer space, about to smash everything into smithereens. "No, you can't kill me!" Lin Haoyu roared, his eyes filled with fear. At this moment, he truly felt the threat of death. Boom! As if his potential was stimulated by death, Lin Haoyu's majestic true qi exploded. The white robe on his body suddenly shattered, revealing a black chainmail. It was shining with spiritual light, and it was obviously a powerful spiritual weapon. He also threw a punch. Demonic qi surged, as if all the essence and blood in his body had fused into this punch. It was the most powerful attack in his life. The two fists collided, and the black demonic qi was swept away. An unparalleled force attacked, and directly shattered Lin Haoyu's arm, causing a bloody mist to fill the air. Bang! Ling Zhao's expression was cold. His body moved like a ghost, and he arrived at Lin Haoran's side. Then he threw a punch at his lower abdomen. The Vajra fist intent exploded, and the unparalleled true qi instantly destroyed Lin Haoran's Dantian Sea of Qi, shattering all the meridians in his body. Lin Haoyu spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face instantly turned as pale as paper. His eyes were filled with incomparable madness and fear as he roared. "You destroyed my cultivation. I want you to die. I want you to die." Lin Haoyu's hair was disheveled, and he seemed to have gone crazy as he pounced towards Ling Xiao. Slap! A crisp sound was heard, and Ling Xiao slapped Lin Haoyu's face. Immediately, his teeth flew out, mixed with blood, and his entire body smashed onto the ground like a dead dog. "You crippled my cultivation. Ling Xiao, my grandfather will definitely not let you off. You're dead meat and no one can save you." Lin Haoyu was completely deranged. With his cultivation destroyed, he would be a cripple in the future. Being knocked down from the clouds to the ground was simply worse than being killed. In his heart, he hated Ling Xiao to the extreme, and he hated that he could not eat his flesh and drink his blood. I don't know what your grandfather is like, but what I know is that I'm afraid you won't be able to wait until that day. Ling Xiao's expression was indifferent as he walked over. His entire body emitted a monstrous aura, shocking everyone in the surroundings. How dare he destroy senior brother Lin? Many disciples were dumbfounded, and their eyes were filled with fear as they looked at Ling Xiao. On the other hand, Ling Kuan's eyes revealed a trace of satisfaction. Good, very good. This time, Ling Xiao and Grand Elder Lin Shan will definitely not rest until one of them is dead. I'd like to see how you can survive this time. Ling Kuan's eyes flashed with a cold light, and the thought of retreating emerged in his heart. He slowly wanted to leave this place. Did I say you could leave? Ling Xiao snorted coldly, and immediately, 2 rays of light flew over at an extremely fast speed, shooting directly at Ling Kuan's knees, smashing his legs into pieces. Ling Kuan instantly cried out miserably as he knelt on the ground, and his gaze towards Ling Xiao was filled with hatred. Ling Xiao ignored him and continued walking towards Lin Haoyu. Looking at Ling Xiao's cold eyes, Lin Haoyu shuddered and immediately woke up from his anger. Chapter 38. Don't come over, Lin Haoyu's voice began to tremble. He suddenly understood that even if Lin Shan could avenge him, everything would be for naught if he lost his life. Lord Holy Sun, I was wrong. I shouldn't have made an enemy of you. I shouldn't have hurt Miss Shuiwei. I'm not human, please spare me. Lin Haoyu's legs suddenly went soft, and he knelt at Ling Xiao's feet. He started to cry loudly with snot and tears, and he even slapped himself, shocking all the surrounding disciples. Was this still the arrogant senior brother Lin Haoyu? Looking at Lin Haoyu's current appearance, the disciples couldn't help but feel disdain in their hearts. Lord Holy Sun, I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I won't dare to go against you in the future. Just treat me like a fart and let me go. Lin Haoyu knelt at Ling Xiao's feet and begged endlessly. However, there was a trace of hatred and killing intent hidden in his eyes. A silver cylinder appeared in Lin Haoyu's hand, and he suddenly shot it at Ling Xiao. Go to hell. Ha! Lin Haoyu sneered and activated the mechanism in his hand. Dozens of silver rays shot forward at an extremely fast speed. However, in the next moment, he felt that something was wrong. Where was Ling Xiao's shadow? Pear blossom storm needles? It's even dipped in poison. Even a Dragon Tiger Realm expert will die in your hands if he's not careful. You're really good at scheming. Ling Xiao's slightly mocking voice rang in Lin Haoyu's ears, and Lin Haoyu instantly shuddered. Unknowingly, Ling Xiao had already appeared behind him. Lin Haoyu thought that he had successfully concealed his killing intent, but he didn't know that Ling Xiao already knew that he was up to no good. When he took out the Pear Blossom Storm needles, Ling Xiao had already used the longevity steps to appear behind him. Ling Xiao, my grandfather will definitely not let you off. You're dead meat. You're dead meat. Lin Haoyu's face turned pale when his sneak attack failed. He knew that Ling Xiao wouldn't let him off no matter what. He immediately threw caution to the wind and looked at Ling Xiao with incomparable hatred. Slap. Ling Xiao didn't say anything and just slapped him. Immediately, the other half of Lin Haoyu's face swelled up as well. He was sent flying over 100 feet away, spitting out blood from his mouth. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, and he slapped Lin Haoyu a few more times. In the end, Lin Haoyu couldn't even curse anymore. He lay on the ground with blood spurting out of his mouth, and his breath was extremely weak. In the end, Ling Xiao walked up to Lin Haoyu and grabbed his neck with one hand. The killing intent in his eyes was undisguised. At this moment, Lin Haoyu truly felt the threat of death, but he couldn't say anything. He could only look at Ling Xiao with pleading eyes. Ling Xiao, stop. At this moment, a clear voice rang out, and a beautiful figure shot over from afar. Ling Xiao, Lin Haoyu is Grand Elder Lin Shan's grandson. If you kill him, you'll get into big trouble. Let him go first and we can talk about it slowly. That beautiful figure was Nan Gongqing. At this moment, she was wearing a fluttering white dress and carrying a long sword on her back. She looked elegant and refined, like a fairy from the 9 heavens. However, her face was filled with anxiety, afraid that Ling Xiao would kill Lin Haoyu out of anger. You guys are afraid of Lin Shan, but I'm not. He hurt Shui Wei, so he can only die. Ling Xiao glanced coldly at Nan Gongqing, then exerted force in his hand and instantly broke Lin Haoyu's throat. How dare you? Lin Haoyu's eyes were filled with disbelief. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to kill him even when Nan Gongqing came. The light in his eyes gradually dimmed, and he fell to the ground dead. You really killed him? Nan Gongqing stomped her feet in anger, looking at Ling Xiao with eyes full of resentment. Nan Gongqing had just come out of seclusion when she heard that Ling Xiao had killed his way to Ninyang Peak. Therefore, she rushed over without stopping, wanting to stop Ling Xiao's impulse. However, she was still a step too late. You've already crippled his cultivation, why do you still want to kill him? Grand Elder Lin Shan will come out of seclusion in 3 days. When he comes out and finds out that Lin Haoyu was killed by you, he will definitely not let you off. Why are you so impulsive? Nan Gongqing said as if she expected better from him. What's the difference between crippling his cultivation and killing him? Even if I let him off, do you think that Lin Shan won't find trouble with me after he comes out of seclusion? I don't like trouble, so I might as well kill this trouble directly. Ling Xiao said with a cold smile. But you... Sigh, there's no room for negotiation now. I'll go find father and see if there's a solution. Behave yourself. Nan Gongqing glared hatefully at Ling Xiao, stomped her feet, turned around, and hurriedly left. Ling Xiao rubbed his nose, feeling that something was wrong. This little girl looked like she wanted to kill him when they were at the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Why did she change her attitude when they met this time? Ling Xiao shook his head, then unceremoniously took away Lin Haoyu's azure eye sword, his chain mail, and his storage bag. He then grabbed Ling Kuan and swaggered down Ninyang Peak, returning to Jin's pavilion. The disciples of Ninyang Peak were all silent, and none of them dared to stop Ling Xiao. After Ling Xiao left, the disciples immediately dispersed in a hubbub. Jin's pavilion. During this period of time, Lu Chuanxiong, Gu Zhong, and Wang Han had already cleaned up the dilapidated pavilion and repaired it. It could barely be moved in. Lu Piapiao also brought Shui Wei back to Jin's pavilion. After feeding Shui Wei a healing elixir, Shui Wei fell into a deep sleep. How is Shui Wei? Ling Xiao asked Lu Piapiao as he returned to Jin's pavilion and moved Ling Kuan to the side. She's fine. It's all superficial wounds. She fell asleep after taking the healing elixir. That Lin Haoyu? Lu Piapiao's eyes flashed with a trace of pity as she spoke softly. He's already been killed. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Good job. This kind of scum deserves to die. Lu Piapiao said hatefully. Obviously, she also hated Lin Haoyu. What? Saint, you killed Lin Haoyu? Lu Chuanxiong, Gu Zhong, and Wang Han also heard Ling Xiao's words, and their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Saint, I didn't expect your combat strength to be so terrifying. Even Lin Haoyu died in your hands. However, Saint, you're in big trouble this time. Grand Elder Lin Shan is the strongest person in the Changsun sect. When he comes out of seclusion and finds out about this, he will definitely not let you off. Chapter 39. Saint, why don't you run away? If you run far away, Lin Shan won't be able to find you. Gu Zhong said hurriedly. That's right. Saint, you're a genius. You'll be able to break through to the Master Realm in a few years. When you return to the sect, I'm sure Lin Shan won't dare to do anything to you. Wang Han said worriedly. I've killed Lin Haoyu. I'm already the target of public criticism in the Changsun sect. Are you still willing to stay here? If you report this to Lin Shan, you'll be rewarded handsomely. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as his sharp gaze landed on Lu Chuanxiong and the other two. Saint, what are you talking about? Lu Chuanxiong said seriously, the 3 of us siblings were saved by the Holy Sun. The debt of saving our lives is greater than the heavens. How can the three of us do something so ungrateful as to be worse than pigs and dogs? Ling Xiao looked at Lu Chuanxiong and the other two. Seeing the sincerity on their faces, he nodded in his heart. The three of them had a good temperament and could be used. Don't worry. Lin Shan may be strong, but he can't kill me in the Changsun sect. If he doesn't know what's good for him, I don't mind letting the Changsun sect lose a grand elder. Ling Xiao stood with his hands behind his back, exuding a strong sense of confidence. Lu Chuanxiong and the other two were affected by Ling Xiao's confidence. They started to believe him and their restless hearts gradually calmed down. Pia Piao, look after him. The three of you follow me. Ling Xiao asked Lu Pia Piao to look after Ling Kuan as he led Lu Chuanxiong and the other two into the bamboo forest. Tell me all the martial arts that the three of you are practicing. I want all the details. Ling Xiao said faintly. Lu Chuanxiong and the other two looked at each other. Although they were confused, they still told Ling Xiao the martial arts that they were practicing. Lu Chuanxiong, Gu Zhong, and Wang Han were all orphans with no background. After joining the Changsun sect, they were supported all the way until they reached the true energy realm and became inner disciples. The highest martial art that Lu Chuanxiong cultivated was the middle-grade black-rank iron sword technique. Gu Zhong cultivated the low-grade black-rank reckless bull strength. Wang Han cultivated the low-grade black-rank vast ocean sword technique. Ling Xiao pondered for a moment and said, Lu Chuanxiong, your attainments in the iron sword art are not bad, but this martial art is too weak. I will teach you the great sky sword art, which is a peerless earth-level martial art. When cultivated to the extreme, it will not be weaker than a heaven-level martial art. What? A peerless earth-class martial art? Lu Chuanxiong's body trembled, and his eyes revealed an extremely shocked expression. Ling Xiao's words set off a huge wave in his heart. One must know that the strongest martial art in the Changsun sect was only the 7 stars transforming moon sword art, and Ling Xiao actually said that he was going to teach him a peerless earth-grade martial art? Looking at Lu Chuanxiong's look of disbelief, Ling Xiao did not explain. Instead, he pointed at Lu Chuanxiong's glabella and an extremely profound great sky sword technique was integrated into his mind. Of course, Ling Xiao only taught him the first part. Whether he could obtain the second part would depend on Lu Chuanxiong's performance. Feeling the profound martial art that appeared in his mind, Lu Chuanxiong seemed to be in a daze. Instantly, he sat down cross-legged and began to comprehend the martial art in his mind. Gu Zhong and Wang Han's faces were also filled with astonishment. Then, they looked at Ling Xiao with an extremely fervent gaze. Ling Xiao smiled and said, Gu Zhong, you were born with divine strength and are suitable for body-refining martial arts. I will teach you a peerless earth-class demon ox fist. Wang Han, you have a quiet personality and your sword is ethereal. It suits your temperament very well, but the vast sea sword art is not suitable for you. I will teach you a peerless earth-class 13 Jade Girl sword. After Ling Xiao finished speaking, he also pointed at Gu Zhong and Wang Han's glabella and taught them the first part of these 2 martial arts. Great Sky Sword Art, Demon Ox Fist, and 13 Jade Girl sword. These 3 martial arts were all peerless earth-class martial arts. Moreover, they all had a set of qi refinement mental cultivation techniques. After Ling Xiao's test, Lu Chuanxiong and the other two's temperament and aptitude were the best. Thus, Ling Xiao taught them. In the future, if he wanted to revitalize the Changsun sect, it would not be enough to rely on Ling Xiao alone. He had to nurture some strong disciples. Seeing Lu Chuanxiong, Gu Zhong, and Wang Han going wild with joy and entering into a state of cultivation, Ling Xiao smiled faintly and turned to leave the bamboo forest. Ling Xiao went to the loft to take a look at Xue Wei. Seeing that Xue Wei was still in a deep sleep, but her breathing had stabilized, Ling Xiao left at ease. Bang! Ling Kuan was thrown to the ground and fell flat on his face. A burst of dust flew up and he coughed continuously. Speak, who asked you to deal with me? Ling Xiao looked at Ling Kuan indifferently and said, What do you mean? I don't know. Ling Kuan looked at Ling Xiao in horror and said, You are still not honest here? Forget it, I am just wasting a little more mental energy anyway. Ling Xiao sneered. Suddenly, Two black vortexes shot out from his eyes. Ling Kuan's body trembled and his expression became sluggish. Ling Zhao's mental energy was very strong now. He just casually used a few secret techniques to intimidate the mind, and Ling Kuan obediently submitted. "Who asked you to deal with me?" Ling Zhao asked. "It was the Grand Elder," Ling Kuan said sluggishly. 3 years ago, after the disappearance of the Demon Lord, you were sent to the Changsun sect. Originally, the Grand Elder only asked me to keep an eye on you. However, he did not expect that your cultivation would increase by leaps and bounds, causing the Grand Elder to feel uneasy. The Grand Elder had long planned to let his grandson inherit the title of Demon Lord. If you were to return to the capital, his plan would definitely fail. Therefore, the Grand Elder asked me to contact the Changsun sect to eliminate you. Grand Elder Lin Shan and the Grand Elder are old friends, so I found Lin Shan and Lin Haoyu. Ling Zhao furrowed his brows. He knew that this physical body was the only son of the Demon Lord in the Great Desolation ancient country. However, 3 years ago, the Demon Lord went missing and Ling Zhao was sent to the Changsun sect in the name of protection. In these 3 years, although Ling Zhao did not have any cultivation talent and was very useless, under the care of the Changsun sect, he passed his days peacefully. However, who knew that Lu Yi and Ling Kuan would conspire to kill Ling Zhao and allow the heaven-devouring Supreme Ling Zhao to be reborn? However, those people in the capital were still lingering around. He did not expect them to reach out to the Changsun sect. Grand Elder Ling Yunxiang? And his grandson Ling Tianxi? Since they have taken over your physical body, I will help you kill these 2 people. Ling Zhao thought in his heart. There is another reason why the Grand Elder wants to kill you. That is because the Demon Lord and the King had arranged a marriage for you when you were young, and the King had bestowed the King's little princess to you as your wife. However, after the Demon Lord went missing, your reputation as a useless person spread to the capital and the royal family gave up on the idea of you marrying the little princess. Furthermore, the Grand Young Master Ling Tianxi also likes the little princess. Only by killing you will your marriage with the little princess be annulled, and he will have the chance to marry the little princess. Chapter 40. Marriage Contract? Ling Zhao's eyes showed a trace of strangeness. It was said that the little princess was born in the same year, month, and day as him. Not only was her martial arts talent extraordinary, but she was also an outstanding beauty. If it was the previous Ling Zhao, the royal family naturally would not allow the little princess to marry Ling Zhao. Well, I know. Who is Louis? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He took note of everything Ling Kuan said and then changed the topic to Louis. The previous Ling Zhao did not notice it, but now Ling Zhao could feel that Lu Yi was very unusual. Moreover, she did not seem to be cultivating the martial arts of the Changsun sect. Lu Yi is said to be the niece of the Changsun city lord, Lu Xiongfei. She is also related to the Hehuan sect. A few days ago, the son of the 7th elder of the all-pleasure sect, Ma Jun, died in the ferocious Beast Mountain range. The people of the all-pleasure sect suspected that it was done by the people of the longevity sect. All in all, it seemed that only you had entered the ferocious Beast Mountain range during that period. Lu Yi and I both want to get rid of you. I found Lin Haoyu, and Lu Yi went to the Hehuan sect to inform. Perhaps it won't be long before the Hehuan sect comes to punish you. Ling Kuan said word by word with a dull expression. Ma Jun? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He suddenly remembered the people of the Hehuan sect that he killed in the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Lu is actually Lu Xiongfei's niece. It seems that Lu Piapiao should know her. I should be able to know her identity when I ask Lu Piapiao later. But it seems that Louis is very likely to be a spy of the Hehuan sect. Ling Zhao's thoughts turned and he thought of many things in an instant. At the same time, he also released the mental control on Ling Kuan. Ling Kuan shuddered and suddenly woke up. He looked at Ling Zhao in horror and said, What did you do to me?" Ling Zhao smirked coldly and struck him on the neck, knocking him out. "Ling Zhao, it's not good." At this moment, Lu Piapiao ran over in a panic. Her eyes were full of anxiety. "What's wrong?" Ling Zhao's eyes flashed and asked in a deep voice. "Shui Wei, something happened to Shui Wei. Go and see. Lu Piapiao said hurriedly. Shui Wei. Ling Zhao's heart sank. His feet moved, and he flew towards Jin's pavilion. Just as he approached the Jin's pavilion, Ling Zhao felt an icy aura. The entire Jin's pavilion seemed to have turned into a land of ice, completely sealed in ice. I don't know what's going on. It was fine just now. Who would have thought that a gust of cold air would suddenly come out of the building and freeze the area within 1,000 feet? Lu Piapiao explained. This is 9 nether chi? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He dashed into the pavilion and said, Don't come in. Stand guard outside. Boom. As soon as Ling Zhao entered Jin's pavilion, he felt a terrifying chill coming towards him, causing him to shiver uncontrollably. That cold air was bone-piercing, as if it was cold to the soul. Moreover, it also emitted a gloomy aura of darkness and the netherworld. This should be the 9 nether chi, but why would it appear here? Ling Zhao's gaze fell on Shui Wei, who was in the pavilion. At that moment, Shui Wei seemed to be sealed in a transparent ice block. The majestic cold air was emitted from her body. Could it be that this little girl has the 9 nether bloodline? Ling Zhao's eyes trembled as he thought of a possibility. 10,000 years ago, the 9 nether sovereign, who was ranked 3rd among the 10 titled supremes, had the 9 nether bloodline. His battle strength was monstrous, and he reigned supreme. Even Ling Zhao couldn't say for sure that he could defeat the 9 nether sovereign. The 9 nether bloodline was one of the top bloodlines in the world. Anyone who had the 9 nether bloodline would eventually become the strongest in the world. If Shui Wei really had the 9 nether bloodline, then her origin was probably not ordinary. However, Ling Zhao still needed to confirm what kind of bloodline it was. Boom! Ling Zhao's body emitted a mysterious aura. The heaven-devouring spiritual seed in his energy reserve began to rotate. The terrifying cold air around him was devoured and refined by him, increasing his cultivation. Ling Zhao strode into the Jin's pavilion. It is indeed the mysterious ice of the 9 nether formed by the cold air of the 9 nether. Perhaps the injury this time allowed this little girl to awaken the 9 nether bloodline by chance. However, the 9 nether bloodline is too perverse. If there is no one to protect her, I'm afraid she won't be able to survive. She will eventually die in this endless cold air. Ling Zhao sighed and confirmed his thoughts. However, Shui Wei's current state was also very dangerous. The awakening of the 9 nether bloodline had caused a large amount of 9 nether cold air to erupt from Shui Wei's body. It had reached a point where she couldn't withstand it at all. At that moment, her life force was already very weak. Ling Zhao didn't dare to delay and immediately placed a palm on the 9 nether cold ice. Heaven-devouring secret skill, devour. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. The heaven-devouring secret skill was fully unleashed. The heaven-devouring spiritual seed in his energy reserve suddenly trembled. Then, a huge devouring force completely erupted. Boom! Ling Zhao's entire body seemed to have turned into a whirlpool. A large amount of 9 nether cold air was refined by the heaven-devouring spiritual seed and turned into boundless true qi that began to surge within Ling Zhao's body. Originally, the space within Ling Zhao's energy reserve was very large. If he wanted to break through to the next realm, the difficulty would be tens or even hundreds of times that of an ordinary person. However, although this 9 nether cold air had a bone-piercing chill, it contained the purest essence of spiritual energy. Coupled with the refinement of the heaven-devouring spiritual seed, it directly turned into pure Xiantian true qi and integrated into his energy reserve. Ling Zhao's Xiantian true qi carried a faint golden glow. It was dense in his energy reserve. Soon, under this boundless devouring force, his energy reserve was filled with Xiantian true qi. The 4th true qi whirlpool slowly formed. Boom! Ling Zhao's cultivation also broke through to the 4th level of the true energy realm in an instant. However, this cold air was just a drop in the ocean compared to the boundless 9 nether cold air. More and more 9 nether cold air began to be devoured and refined by Ling Zhao. Gotcha! The 9 nether cold ice on Shui Wei's body shattered, and Ling Zhao's qi was also rapidly increasing. The 5th true Qi whirlpool, the 6th true Qi whirlpool, the 7th true Qi whirlpool, the 8th true Qi whirlpool. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, when the temperature of the entire Jinsei pavilion slowly dropped, Ling Zhao's body exuded a powerful and unparalleled aura. Ripples spread out and directly shattered the surrounding tables and chairs. The 9th true Qi whirlpool formed in an instant. Ling Zhao opened his eyes. He didn't have time to check the situation within his body. He hurriedly looked at Shui Wei, who was lying on the bed. At this moment, although Shui Wei's face was still very pale, her life fluctuations had stabilized. Under Ling Zhao's perception, the 9 nether cold air had all retreated back into Shui Wei's body. It gradually circulated within her body and strengthened her qi bit by bit. Chapter 41. Comparisons are odious. Ling Zhao laughed bitterly. His little maidservant was truly extraordinary. She possessed the bloodline of the netherworld and a peerless physique. She had easily reached the peak of the channel opening realm. As long as Shui Wei was willing, she would be able to open her Dantian's sea of qi and enter the true energy realm the moment she woke up. Ling Zhao's fleshly body, on the other hand, was incomparably useless. After so many rounds of tempering, utilizing the spiritual energy essence within the longevity tower, profound origin heavy water and primordial golden lotus flame, he had only managed to break through to the great circle of the meridian opening stage after much difficulty. However, when Ling Zhao sensed the situation in his body, he was very satisfied. Helping Shui Wei suppress the cold energy of the netherworld was a great fortune for Ling Zhao. The extremely pure cold energy of the netherworld had actually helped him break through to the 9th level of the true energy realm. If others were to know that he had broken through 6 minor realms in a day, they would probably be scared half to death. No matter how monstrous a genius was, it was impossible for them to break through as freely as Ling Zhao. However, Ling Zhao was not afraid. He was already a supreme being. As long as his strength was sufficient, he could easily break through to the next realm. Moreover, the channel opening realm and the true energy realm were both foundational realms. It was easy for Ling Zhao to break through. However, it would not be so easy once he reached the spirit transformation realm. The spirit transformation realm involved the polishing of the true energy and the tempering of the body. If he broke through too quickly, it would be easy for the realm to become unstable. If others see my cultivation speed, I'm afraid it will be troublesome. Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. The aura on his body changed slowly and finally stabilized at the 4th level of the true energy realm. This was a secret technique to conceal one's aura. It was also a magical effect of the heaven-devouring secret technique. Even a Grandmaster realm expert would not be able to see through Ling Zhao's hidden cultivation. Ling Zhao gave Shui Wei a few more calming elixirs before he left with peace of mind. When Ling Zhao left the Jin's pavilion, he found that Lu Piapiao had disappeared. Lu Piapiao left a letter for Ling Zhao outside the Jin's pavilion. Urgent matters at home. I'll be back soon. Don't worry. Piapiao. Seeing Lu Piapiao leave without saying goodbye, Ling Zhao was stunned. Could it be that Lu Piapiao saw that he had offended Lin Shan and was about to face a disaster? However, Ling Zhao subconsciously felt that Lu Piapiao was not such a person. He didn't think too much about it and just let her be. Ling Zhao's gaze landed on the bamboo forest, and he saw a woman in white standing there. She carried a long sword on her back, her white robe fluttered in the wind, and her black hair fluttered in the wind. Her appearance was elegant and refined. Her entire being emitted an otherworldly temperament, as if she was a fairy from the 9 heavens. Why are you here? I offended Grand Elder Lin Shan, and you still dare to get involved with me? Aren't you afraid of being implicated? Ling Zhao smiled lazily. The woman in front of him was Nan Gongqing. You can still laugh at this point? Nan Gongqing slowly walked over and looked at Ling Zhao with a headache. Do you know that Grand Elder Lin Shan is about to come out of seclusion? His cultivation is slightly higher than my father's. You killed his only grandson. If he goes crazy, I'm afraid even my father won't be able to control him. Ling Zhao smiled nonchalantly. Nan Gongxian should be cultivating the longevity supreme scripture, right? If he can't even deal with Lin Shan, then even a pig would be stronger than him in cultivating the longevity supreme scripture. You? Nan Gongqing was furious. She gritted her teeth and said, "How did you get the longevity supreme scripture?" Nan Gongqing still asked the question that had been in her heart for a long time. When she returned from the fearsome Beast Mountain range, she couldn't wait to tear Ling Xiao into pieces. However, when she heard Nangong Xian say that Ling Xiao found the longevity supreme scripture and became the sage of the longevity sect, she didn't believe it. However, when she really received the true inheritance of the longevity supreme scripture, she felt as if she was in a dream and was filled with curiosity about Ling Xiao. "Oh, you didn't take revenge on me for the fearsome Beast Mountain range because I found the longevity supreme scripture, right?" Ling Xiao walked in front of Nangong Qing and lifted her chin with a finger. His voice was filled with teasing. He didn't know why, but when he saw Nangong Qing's fairy-like temperament, Ling Xiao couldn't help but want to tease her. "You bastard!" Nangong Qing was stunned and her face turned red. Her snow-white neck was covered with a layer of pink. Her entire body trembled as she gritted her teeth. The incident at the fearsome Beast Mountain range was a nightmare for Nangong Qing. This bastard in front of her actually looked at her body from head to toe. Every time she thought of this, she couldn't help but want to kill Ling Xiao. Nangong Qing was about to go berserk. She might even draw her sword and slash at Ling Xiao in the next moment. Ling Xiao smiled and said, "I advise you not to make a move. You're not my opponent now. As for how I got the longevity supreme scripture, it's naturally because I'm Ling Xiao. The heaven-devouring supreme scripture admires me and he told me about it." Nangong Qing almost couldn't help but draw her sword and slash at Ling Xiao's bright smile. However, after thinking about it, she was afraid that she really wasn't Ling Xiao's opponent. Although she obtained the longevity supreme scripture, she had just started cultivating it. Her cultivation was only at the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm, which was the same as Lin Haoyu's. Even if her cultivation was a little stronger than Lin Haoyu's, it was still limited. Ling Xiao killed Lin Haoyu with his cultivation at the 3rd level of the true energy realm. And now, Ling Xiao had broken through to the 4th level of the true energy realm in such a short period of time? Wait until I break through to the Dragon Tiger realm and cultivate the martial arts of the longevity supreme scripture. I'll definitely teach this brat a good lesson. Thinking of this, Nangong Qing still endured it. She gritted her teeth and said, "You little bastard, did the heaven-devouring supreme ancestor tell you about it? It would be strange if he took a fancy to you. I think you're just a blind cat running into a dead mouse." Ling Xiao gave a non-committal smile. His casual attitude made Nangong Qing extremely unhappy. "You didn't come here just to ask me how I got the longevity supreme scripture, right?" Ling Xiao smiled and asked the main question. "Of course not." At this point, no matter how unhappy Nangong Qing was with Ling Xiao, she still said seriously, "You killed Lin Haoyu and caused a big trouble. I've already informed my father and he should be coming out soon. When the time comes, he will stop Lin Shan. However, you can't stay in the longevity sect. This is for you, quickly leave. The further you go, the better. Don't come back until you reach the Grandmaster realm." Nangong Qing threw a storage pouch to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao took it and found that there were over 1,000,000 high-grade spirit stones and all kinds of spirit pills and spirit medicines. It seemed that old man Nangong Xian was really good to him. He was willing to go against Lin Shan for him and even took out so many resources. Chapter 42. Ling Xiao weighed it and threw it to Nangong Qing, saying with a smile, "I won't leave Changsun sect. A mere grandmaster can't make me, Ling Xiao, afraid. You can tell that Lin Shan, if he's not afraid of death, feel free to come and find me." "You are really unreasonable." Nangong Qing saw that no matter what, Ling Xiao was unwilling to leave. In the end, she stomped her feet angrily and turned to leave. Looking at Nangong Qing's departing back view, Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of vicissitudes. "Changsun sect is Mayan Jinsei's painstaking effort. I won't tolerate anyone destroying it. Forget about a mere Lin Shan, even if a heavenly man or noble came, so what? These malignant tumors of Changsun sect, it's time to clean them up properly. Ling Xiao stood with his hands behind his back, exuding a domineering aura that looked down on the world. His eyes were incomparably sharp, like a peerless divine sword, emitting an incomparably resplendent light. Not long later, Lu Chuanxiong, Gu Zhong, and Wang Han all woke up from their cultivation state, looking at Ling Xiao with eyes full of gratitude and respect. Many thanks for saints' bestowment. In the future, the three of us siblings' lives will be saints. Lu Chuanxiong and the other two knelt down towards Ling Xiao and bowed respectfully, thoroughly expressing their intention to submit to him. Only when they finished digesting the Great Sky Sword Art, Demon Ox Fist, and Jade 13 Swords, these three martial arts, did they know what a great opportunity Ling Xiao had given them. It could be said that as long as there were no accidents, just relying on these three martial arts, they would definitely be able to break through to the Grandmaster realm or even the Heavenly Man realm. This was something that they did not even dare to think about in the past. One had to know that within a radius of 1,000 miles under the jurisdiction of Changsun City, the strongest martial arts of the three major sects, Demonic Palace, Hahuan Sect, and Changsun Sect, were merely Earth-class low-grade martial arts. Therefore, they became more and more respectful towards Ling Xiao. You guys are very good. Cultivate well. You're not only loyal to me, but also to Changsun Sect. In the future, as long as you work hard and do your best for the sect, what is an Earth-class peerless martial art? Even a Heaven-class martial art is not impossible for you guys. Ling Xiao glanced at the three of them and revealed a trace of satisfaction. The three great martial arts that Ling Xiao had chosen for them were the most suitable for their physiques. Although Lu Chuanxiong, Gu Zhong, and Wang Han did not have a peerless bloodline like Shui Wei, they still had superior aptitude. Relying on the comprehension of martial arts, Lu Chuanxiong had already broken through to the 7th level of the true energy realm. Gu Zhong and Wang Han had also broken through to the 4th level of the true energy realm. Yes. Lu Chuanxiong and the other two looked at each other and nodded solemnly. Previously, they were extremely worried that Lin Shan would come out of seclusion. But now, they were filled with confidence in Ling Xiao. Would a person who could casually take out 3 peerless Earth-class martial arts die so easily at the hands of Lin Shan? Next, I will set up a spirit gathering array in the Jin's Pavilion. You should cultivate as fast as possible. After all, your current cultivation is still too weak. Ling Xiao said slowly. Then, Ling Xiao took out 100,000 upper-grade spirit stones and set up a super-large spirit gathering array in the Jin's Pavilion. The entire Jin's Pavilion was shrouded in clouds and spiritual energy. It was like a fairyland. Ling Xiao also bestowed some spirit pills to the three of them, allowing them to cultivate well in the Jin's Pavilion. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. At the back of the Longevity Mountain, in a beautiful valley, a huge stone door suddenly opened. An old man in a black robe with a ruddy complexion walked out. He looked like a child with white hair and a pair of eyes like lightning. His entire body exuded an unparalleled aura. "Pa, I finally broke through." The old man in the black robe laughed loudly. He saw 3 white-robed disciples kneeling in the valley, trembling. "What are you doing here? Quickly call Hao Yu over. I want to see if his cultivation has improved." The old man in the black robe was the Longevity Sect's Grand Elder, Lin Shan. He recognized that the people kneeling in front of him were Lin Haoyu's subordinates. He suddenly laughed loudly and said, Reporting to Grand Elder. Senior Brother Lin. He's dead." One of the disciples mustered up his courage and stuttered. His face was incomparably pale. "What?" This sentence was like a thunderclap that exploded in Lin Shan's heart, causing his entire body to tremble. His eyes suddenly revealed an incomparably fierce expression, like a mad lion. "Hao Yu's dead? Impossible. How could Hao Yu be dead? Tell me clearly, what's going on?" Lin Shan seemed to have gone mad. His eyes were red as he reached out and grabbed the disciple's neck, instantly sucking him over. "Grand Elder, please spare my life. Senior Brother Lin was killed by Ling Xiao just 3 days ago." The disciple's soul almost left his body. He repeatedly begged for mercy and stuttered as he recounted what had happened. How you, my grandson? After hearing the disciples' words, Lin Shan cried out miserably. His face was filled with incomparable grief and indignation. Ling Xiao? Ling Xiao? Ling Xiao? I'm going to crush your bones inch by inch, pull out your tendons and peel off your skin. I'm going to make you suffer all kinds of torture to pay tribute to Hao Yu's soul in heaven. Lin Shan's eyes revealed an incomparable flame of hatred and fury. His hair was disheveled as he roared loudly. The energy in his body surged and shot out in all directions like a sharp sword, shattering the surrounding rocks and trees into dust. Run! Seeing Lin Shan so deranged, the three disciples were so frightened that their souls almost left their bodies. They roared loudly and fled into the distance. Hao Yu's dead, why aren't you dead yet? All of you, go down and accompany him. Lin Shan suddenly turned his head. The murderous intent in his eyes seemed to have materialized. His eyes were incomparably blood-red. His entire body was like a ghost as he instantly appeared behind the three disciples and crushed their necks. Junior Master Lin? Why did you kill our disciples? A clear voice with traces of anger rang out. Nangong Xian, dressed in white, flew over from afar. When he saw the corpses of the three disciples on the ground, his expression became incomparably unsightly. They didn't protect Hao Yu well. They deserve to be killed. Not only do I want to kill them, but I also want to kill that little bastard Ling Xiao. I won't let anyone related to Ling Xiao go. Lin Shan said with a face full of murderous intent. His eyes were incomparably cold. Junior Master Lin, you can't kill Ling Xiao. Nangong Xian sighed slightly as he stood in front of Lin Shan and said resolutely. What? So, Sect Master, you're here to stop me? Lin Shan's eyes turned cold as his voice revealed a trace of murderous intent. Sect Master, you must know that your cultivation is inferior to mine. If I want to kill Ling Xiao, you can't stop me. Moreover, Ling Xiao killed his fellow disciples. According to our Changsun sect's rules, he should be executed. I'm going to kill him for revenge. Sect Master, I'm afraid you have no reason to stop me, right? Chapter 43. I don't care. I only know that Hao Yu died in the hands of that little bastard, Ling Xiao. I'm going to kill him now. Sect leader, are you going to make an enemy out of me because of this little bastard? Lin Shan's face was gloomy. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as he exuded a powerful aura. It was as if he would attack as soon as Nangong Xian said no. Uncle Master Lin, I can't let you kill Ling Xiao. He's the hope of the Changsun sect. Nangong Xian sighed, but he stood firmly in front of Lin Shan. Ha, alright. Lin Shan laughed out of anger. He suddenly raised his head, and his sharp eyes landed on Nangong Xian's face. He said coldly, looks like sect leader is determined to protect this little bastard? Since that's the case, let me see if sect leader's cultivation has improved. If sect leader can defeat me, I'll never mention the word revenge again. Boom. Lin Shan's body suddenly erupted with a powerful aura. His blood flowed rapidly and a red light flashed. His palms were as clear as jade, emitting a red glow. It was as if they were the fiery palms of a god. They carried the power of heaven and earth as they slammed toward Nangong Xian. This was the power of the Grandmaster realm. He had a good grasp of every bit of his strength, and he had a preliminary understanding of the power of heaven and earth. He could mobilize the power of heaven and earth to suppress his opponent. If that's the case, Uncle Master Lin, please excuse me. Nangong Xian's eyes flashed, and the aura around him soared into the sky. A powerful sword intent spread out, shaking the void. The surrounding mountains and trees seemed to tremble. Nangong Xian used his fingers as a sword, and a blazing stream of light flew toward Lin Shan like a meteor. It was extremely sharp. The void shook, and the earth trembled. The battle between the two Grandmaster Realm experts was on the verge of breaking out. In the Ling Xiao pavilion, Ling Xiao, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes. He looked at the direction of the valley where Lin Shan and Nangong Xian were fighting. Great mastery of sword intent, endless growth, and a trace of the aura of longevity. Is this Nangong Xian's attack? The other one's palm force is vigorous, and he actually comprehended the fist intent of the fire attribute. He has also reached the mastery stage, and his aura is rather similar to Lin Haoyu's. This is that supreme elder Lin Shan, right? Ling Xiao muttered to himself. With his extremely sharp spiritual energy, he instantly sensed the auras of the two powerful grandmasters and easily guessed their identities. Is Nangong Xian trying to stop Lin Shan from going crazy? However, as long as Lin Shan is not eliminated, the longevity sect will never be united. If he doesn't find trouble with me, I really don't have any reason to kill him. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a look of pity flashed across his face. As of this moment, Ling Xiao's body was as translucent as jade, and faint golden strands of pre-heaven true energy flowed through him, eventually converging in his sea of energy. In the middle of his sea of energy were 9 dazzling cyclones, as resplendent as a river of stars. At the very center of them all was a black and white seed, which emanated an aura of propitious prowess. It contained a mysterious aura, as well as fluctuations of yin and yang, of life and death. Naturally, this was the heaven-devouring spirit seed. It's too bad the heaven-devouring secret skill is too difficult to cultivate. I haven't even reached the first level yet. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had to go through so much trouble to kill Lin Shan. Ling Xiao sighed. Although the heaven-devouring secret skill was terrifying beyond compare, it didn't have any offensive power in the early stages. All it did was devour spiritual energy to increase the speed of cultivation. The heaven-devouring secret skill was divided into 5 levels: the heaven-devouring spirit seed, the heaven-devouring golden lotus, the heaven-devouring cauldron, the heaven-devouring god sea, and the heaven-devouring world. In his previous life, he had only obtained an incomplete version of the heaven-devouring secret skill and had cultivated it to the 3rd level, the heaven-devouring cauldron. Once the heaven-devouring cauldron appeared, the legion of gods would be destroyed, and all magic would be invincible. However, the heaven-devouring secret skill was too difficult to cultivate. For example, the first level of the heaven-devouring spirit seed required top-grade spirit seeds of the 5 elements to form. As of now, Ling Xiao's heaven-devouring spirit seed was only half complete. It only had 2 types of spirit seeds, water and fire. Only when the true heaven-devouring spirit seed was fully formed would it possess unparalleled offensive power. This secret skill of the ancestral dragon is truly terrifying. The mere thought of the secret skill of the ancestral dragon excited Ling Xiao. After cultivating the flood dragon body, Ling Xiao had awakened an innate divine ability of the secret skill of the ancestral dragon. Berserk Dragon. According to the records of the secret skill of the ancestral dragon, the Berserk Dragon divine ability was a top-grade innate divine ability. Even among the true dragons of legend, only those with top-grade bloodlines could awaken this ability. With the Flood Dragon body, the Berserk Dragon divine ability could unleash twice the battle prowess of the main body. With the Earth Dragon body, the Berserk Dragon divine ability could unleash 4 times the battle prowess of the main body. With the Flying Dragon body, the Berserk Dragon divine ability could increase one's battle prowess by 8 times. With the Sky Dragon body, the Berserk Dragon divine ability could increase one's battle prowess by 16 times. With the True Dragon body, the Berserk Dragon divine ability could increase one's battle prowess by 32 times. Most importantly, the Berserk Dragon divine ability's battle prowess could be stacked. For example, if Ling Xiao's battle prowess was 1, after cultivating the Vajra subduing Devil Fist, his battle prowess would be 2, and with a top-grade spirit weapon, his battle prowess would be 4. If he used the Berserk Dragon divine ability, his battle prowess would reach a terrifying 8. In his previous life, if Ling Xiao hadn't cultivated the heaven-devouring cauldron, he wouldn't have been a match for the Supreme True Dragon. After all, the Supreme True Dragon's cultivation was also at the 9th level of the Supreme True Dragon realm. He was slightly weaker than Ling Xiao, but not by much. If he used the 32 times battle prowess of the True Dragon body, even if he wasn't the strongest person in the world, he wouldn't be far from it. That was why Ling Xiao was severely injured when the Supreme True Dragon Divine ability ambushed him. This was the shocking power of 32 times battle prowess. The ancestral dragon secret technique didn't just give Ling Xiao a strong physical body, it also gave him unparalleled explosive power. Even the heaven-devouring secret technique couldn't compare to this explosive power. The Berserk Dragon Divine ability was Ling Xiao's trump card. With his current battle prowess and the Berserk Dragon Divine ability, he was able to cross 2 levels and kill a Dragon Tiger Realm expert. Of course, these weren't just Ling Xiao's trump cards. The Meridian Opening Realm and the True Energy Realm were just the beginning of the martial path. Only when he reached the Spirit Transformation Realm and the Dragon Tiger Realm would Ling Xiao be able to use some of his powerful techniques. In the valley, Lin Shan and Nangong Xian's battle quickly came to an end. Although it was impossible to tell who had won, Lin Shan's expression was very ugly. The sect master really hid his strength well. To be able to fight me to a draw, it seems like I've underestimated you. Chapter 44. This time, Lin Shan had broken through to the 4th level of the Grandmaster Realm after coming out of seclusion. He thought that the gap between him and Nangong Xian had widened. However, he did not expect that Nangong Xian, who was only at the 2nd level of the Grandmaster Realm, would be able to tie with him and even show signs of suppressing him. Although the battle between the two of them was more of a test and not a battle of life and death, Lin Shan could not guarantee that Nangong Xian did not have a powerful trump card. This time, Nangong Xian's combat strength had improved by leaps and bounds, which shocked and angered Lin Shan. It was slightly out of his control. After all, in the Grandmaster Realm, the gap between each level was huge, and every level was a small bottleneck. Logically speaking, Lin Shan, who was at the 4th level of the Grandmaster Realm, should be able to suppress Nangong Xian, who was at the 2nd level of the Grandmaster Realm. However, the result was unexpected. Masters Junior Lin, thank you for letting me win. In that case, can you calm down for now? Don't worry, I'll definitely punish Ling Xiao and give you an explanation. Nangong Xian smiled and heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. He was a little excited to be able to tie with Lin Shan. It seemed that the Longevity Supreme Scripture was indeed a supreme-level technique. He had only comprehended it for a few days, but he had already achieved such amazing results. Let him go? How is that possible? However, Lin Shan's answer was beyond Nangong Xian's expectations. Lin Shan sneered and said, "Sect Master, I admit that your cultivation is good, but Hao Yu is my only grandson. This hatred is irreconcilable. I swear I won't stop until I kill Ling Xiao. However, for the sect master's sake, I won't kill him now. However, I'll call for an Elders Adjudication Conference to judge him." Elders Adjudication Conference? Nangong Xian's expression changed and became a little ugly. This Elder Adjudication Conference was a matter that concerned the life and death of the Longevity sect. For example, if an important person in the sect committed a heinous crime, or if there was no way to convict someone of a crime, the Elder Adjudication Conference would be held, and the elders of the sect would be the judge. However, the Elders Adjudication Conference was terrifying. Historically, those who were judged by the Elders Adjudication Conference all had miserable endings. Among them were 2 sect leaders, 3 holy sons, and dozens of sect elders and true disciples. Even if the sect leader had committed a grave crime, the Elders Adjudication Council had the right to judge him. The sect leader and grand elder had the right to initiate an elder ruling conference. It could be said that as long as Ling Xiao went to the Elder Adjudication Council, he would definitely die. I don't agree. Junior Master Lin, Ling Xiao did not commit any heinous crimes. Why are you being so overbearing? Ling Xiao is a rare genius that only appears once every 10,000 years in our Changsun sect. He is also the hope for our Changsun sect to rise again. I don't agree to calling for an elders' meeting. Nangong Xian said coldly. His eyes turned sharp. He never imagined that this Lin Shan actually disregarded the rise and fall of the sect and wholeheartedly wanted to put Ling Xiao to death. To entrust the rise of the Longevity sect to such an ant-like little bastard, what a joke! You don't have the final say in convening the elders' meeting. I advise you not to let Ling Xiao escape. Otherwise, I don't mind killing him with my own hands." Lin Shan sneered, flicked his sleeves, and left the valley. Nangong Xian's face turned extremely ugly. This was the tragedy of the Changsun sect. They only knew how to be unreasonable. As the sect leader, he was also very incompetent. The appearance of a grand elder who could threaten the sect leader was definitely not a good thing. But what should he do now? Could he just watch as Ling Xiao was judged by the Elders' Adjudication Council? With Lin Shan's prestige, he was even more prestigious than Nangong Xian. If he spoke, most of the elders would probably support him. In other words, Ling Xiao would definitely die. Ding, ding, dang, the crisp sound of the bell rang, filling the entire Changsun Mountain. The sound of the bell was simple and heavy, giving off a lingering charm. It also had an indescribable majesty, causing many of the Changsun sect's disciples to tremble. Their eyes were filled with shock. The bell chimed exactly 9 times. The Changsun bell rang 9 times. Is this the legendary bell that only rings during the Elders' Adjudication Council? Oh no, looks like something big is going to happen in the sect. A disciple cried out in surprise, his eyes filled with shock. That's right. The Changsun bell rang 9 times. According to the sect's records, it only rings during the Elders' Adjudication Council. However, the Elders' Adjudication Council hasn't been held for hundreds of years. Why would it be held today? Who are they trying to judge? The Holy Sun. It must be the Holy Sun. That's right. Today, Grand Elder Lin Shan came out of seclusion. Ling Xiao killed senior brother Lin. It would be strange if Grand Elder Lin Shan didn't go crazy. However, Grand Elder Lin Shan didn't kill Ling Xiao directly. Instead, he called for the Elders' Adjudication Council. How strange. What's so strange about it? Once he enters the Elders' Adjudication Council, Ling Xiao will definitely die. This also shows that Grand Elder Lin Shan isn't taking revenge. This is called killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Poor Ling Xiao. I'm afraid he's the one who has been the Holy Sun for the shortest time in the history of our Changsun sect. Many of the disciples were discussing. Some were gloating, some were sympathetic, and some were indifferent. Everyone had different thoughts. However, without exception, they all headed towards the Changsun Plaza at the peak of the Changsun Mountain. This was a rare occasion in 100 years. Naturally, many disciples wanted to join in the fun. At the same time, 2 uninvited guests appeared in Jin's pavilion. Ling Xiao, get out here. A cold voice came from a handsome young man. He had a long sword on his back and was wearing a white robe. However, his face was cold. His cultivation was at the 7th level of the spirit transformation realm. The other person was a pretty girl. She had a graceful figure and jade-like skin. Her cultivation was at the 6th level of the spirit transformation realm. However, she held her head high and her face was full of arrogance. The 2 of them appeared in the Jin's pavilion. Looking at the dilapidated pavilion in front of them, a cold sneer appeared in their eyes. Who dares to behave so atrociously in the Holy Sun's residence? A loud shout came. Lu Chuanxiong and Gu Zhong rushed out of Jin's pavilion. Their faces were full of vigilance. Get Ling Xiao out here. Otherwise, if the time is delayed, all of you will die. The handsome young man looked at Lu Chuanxiong and Gu Zhong with disdain and sneered. A mere true energy realm cultivator was nothing but an ant in his eyes. It's senior brother Qi and senior sister Lu? Lu Chuanxiong's expression changed. He recognized the 2 people in front of him. The handsome young man was called Qi Yuanhua and the pretty girl was called LV Lishan. They were both direct disciples. Moreover, they had another identity. They were the disciples of Grand Elder Lin Shan. Normally, the 2 of them were arrogant people. This time, they were here to capture Ling Xiao and bring him to the Elders' Adjudication Council. Chapter 45. Although Lu Chuanxiong knew their identities, he was already one of Ling Xiao's men. How could he tolerate them insulting Ling Xiao? Senior brother Qi, senior sister Lu. The Holy Sun is cultivating in seclusion. If you have anything to say, just tell me. I'll pass on the message, Lu Chuanxiong said indifferently as he stood in front of Qi Yuanhua and LV Lishan. That's right. You can't go in, Gu Zhong said in a muffled voice. How dare you? Qi Yuanhua's eyes turned cold. He didn't expect these two insignificant inner disciples to dare to stop him. One had to know that with their status, they would be surrounded wherever they went in the Changsun sect. Who would dare to not listen to them? Get out of my way. How arrogant was Qi Yuanhua? He wasn't willing to explain to Lu Chuanxiong and Gu Zhong. Seeing that the two of them didn't know what was good for them, he directly attacked. Boom! Qi Yuanhua's palm shot out. The surrounding wind and clouds seemed to have merged into his palm as it shot towards Lu Chuanxiong and Gu Zhong. Wind cloud palm. Lu Chuanxiong's expression changed. He recognized that this was a profound level peerless martial art. Under the support of Qi Yuanhua's spirit transformation realm cultivation, it exploded with an extremely powerful force. Clang! Lu Chuanxiong didn't dare to be careless. He instantly pulled out a heavy sword from his back and condensed Xiantian true qi around him. Rays of sword light gathered together and slashed across the sky. The aura of this sword was extraordinary. The sword light shrouded the void and actually carried an aura that could lift the sky and destroy the stars. This was the great sky sword art that Ling Xiao had passed on to him. Although Lu Chuanxiong had only comprehended a little, it was still countless times stronger than the iron sword art that he had cultivated before. Boom! The wind and clouds condensed by Qi Yuanhua were actually scattered by Lu Chuanxiong's sword. The aura emitted by the heavy sword made Qi Yuanhua somewhat fearful. Bang! However, Qi Yuanhua was still at the 7th level of the spirit transformation realm. There was a huge gap between him and Lu Chuanxiong. The powerful force of the wind cloud palm finally shattered the countless rays of sword light and ruthlessly slapped on the heavy sword. A huge force attacked, causing Lu Chuanxiong to retreat a dozen steps. To be able to withstand my palm strike, what kind of sword technique is this? Qi Yuanhua's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Although he didn't know what kind of martial arts Lu Chuanxiong practiced, he still had a bit of insight. Just from this exchange, he felt that this sword technique was extraordinary. Even the 7 stars transform moon sword could not compare to the energy waves that supported the heavens and destroyed the stars. It must be an earth-grade martial art. It might even be a middle-grade earth-grade martial art. Qi Yuanhua's eyes suddenly revealed a look of greed. If he could obtain this martial art, he would be able to move unhindered in the world. Where could he not go? Although these thoughts were running through his mind, Qi Yuanhua's expression was righteous as he shouted, "How dare you? You actually dared to attack senior brother. Looks like senior brother will have to teach you a lesson today." Murderous intent flashed in Qi Yuanhua's eyes. He had already decided to kidnap this Lu Chuanxiong first, and then slowly interrogate him about martial arts. Rumble! Qi Yuanhua went all out. The wind and clouds surged, and the majestic innate true qi spread out. The sky was filled with huge palm shadows, slamming down on Lu Chuanxiong. Lu Chuanxiong only resisted a few moves and soon fell into a disadvantageous position. After all, his cultivation was still a bit too weak. Boom! In the end, Qi Yuanhua's palms landed on Lu Chuanxiong's body and directly sent him flying back while vomiting blood. "Big brother!" Gu Zhong shouted and hurriedly ran over to help Lu Chuanxiong up. His eyes were full of hatred as he looked at Qi Yuanhua. "I'll fight it out with you," Gu Zhong roared. Blood qi surged all over his body, and his muscles bulged. A crazy demonic aura spread out. He leaped into the air like a demonic bull and punched out forcefully with an indomitable will, heading straight for Qi Yuanhua. "Gu Zhong, come back quickly!" Lu Chuanxiong ignored the blood in his mouth and shouted anxiously. Even he was not a match for Qi Yuanhua. What was the use of Gu Zhong? Moreover, seeing Qi Yuanhua's ruthless attack, Lu Chuanxiong was even more worried for Gu Zhong. "You're courting death." Qi Yuanhua's eyes flashed and sent out a wind cloud palm. His spirit transformation realm cultivation erupted and directly sent Gu Zhong flying into the bamboo forest in the distance. It was unknown whether Gu Zhong was dead or alive. This fight had also awakened Ling Xiao, who was meditating. When he sensed the situation outside, his eyes became incomparably cold. You dare to behave atrociously in the Jin's pavilion? You really have guts. Ling Xiao shouted and flew out of the Jin's pavilion. When he saw Qi Yuanhua, he immediately threw out a punch. Ling Xiao? Qi Yuanhua's expression changed when he saw Ling Xiao appear. He knew that this was not good. This was a fiend who could kill Lin Haoyu. Thinking of this, his heart weakened a bit. However, he had no choice but to block Ling Xiao's attack. The wind cloud palm erupted. Boom! When the fist and palm collided, Qi Yuanhua immediately knew that he was wrong. An incomparably vigorous, tremendous force directly shattered Qi Yuanhua's genuine qi defense and brazenly blasted into his body. The force of the fist was vast and strong. It carried a trace of the Vajra subduing demon aura and instantly sent Qi Yuanhua flying. Kacha! With a slight sound, Qi Yuanhua's arm was instantly broken. Intense pain assaulted him. Qi Yuanhua couldn't help but cry out miserably and fiercely hit the ground. Crippling one of your arms is a small punishment. If you dare to behave atrociously in my Jin's pavilion again, I'll kill you without mercy. Ling Xiao said with a cold expression. He didn't expect that after killing Lin Haoyu, there would still be people who dared to come here to court death. However, he vaguely guessed that these two people were probably Lin Shan's subordinates. Ling Xiao, you're too presumptuous. LV Lishan, who was at the side, couldn't stand it anymore. She jumped out and pointed at Ling Xiao. We're under the orders of the Supreme Elder to take you to the Elder's adjudication meeting. How dare you injure senior brother Qi? Are you trying to rebel? Elder's adjudication meeting? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. At this moment, 9 melodious bell sounds rang, shaking the entire Changsun sect. That's right. Ling Xiao, you've committed a heinous crime by killing senior brother Lin. The Supreme Elder has called for the Elder's adjudication meeting to punish you. Why don't you surrender now? Otherwise, you'll die without a doubt. Qi Yuanhua stood up with a pale face. He held one of his arms and looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of resentment. Noisy. Ling Xiao's expression turned cold. Another slap was sent out. Smith. The speed of this slap was as fast as lightning. Qi Yuanhua didn't even have time to react. He was instantly sent flying with a scream. Saying, you can't go. In the history of Changsun sect, those who were judged by the Elder's adjudication meeting all had extremely miserable endings. Hurry up and run, the further the better. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.